Okay, so welcome to session number 33 of our Mandalorian storyline for little alien cantina music from Sirenscape there to set the mood as it may be. So, so we have at the table Kesley. While we have her introduce herself, I will clean up some of the other stuff I forgot to do.
Alrighty. I am playing Kaya Cape Weir, the senior sector ranger, former bounty hunter of this group of Mandalorians, in charge of everybody, trying to keep everybody following the rules, following the line, while also trying to keep the family safe. It is difficult with so many family members having their own idea about what are safe and practical choices, but alas, here we are.
Could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
You're our fearless leader. So far, we're all alive.
And from the Mandalorian styles, that the leader's normally the person who has more strength and more brains. So that the brainy ones are generally in the background. So you have totally been suiting the I am Mandalore role.
Absolutely.
Yep. We admire brave and fearless leaders.
No matter how many you go
just
through.
need to get the black saber now.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah, there we go. Just fight that wherever that is right now.
Well, at the moment...
Last we saw it, Maul had it.
Sorry, last we saw who had it?
Ross was answering for me.
Oh, okay. What were you gonna say?
I was about to say your character shouldn't have any idea who has it or where it is, but Ross decided to actually tell you lore your characters don't know.
Yeah.
I thought that's when we evacuated when that happened. That chaos happened.
Yes, so what I was trying to say to you, Ross, is just because you as a player know something, your character doesn't necessarily know it. So spouting out knowledge as character knowledge doesn't help answer things for people. Okay. So most of the players here will take player words as character knowledge, not as this is information for the player. And that's why I keep trying to remind you, don't give information about storylines that people don't know about or shouldn't be aware of at this stage.
Now I'm still learning how to do that, so
I know, but I have
company.
I have to bring it up when when anyone does it. Otherwise, it keeps happening.
No, I understand why. I know it's important. I wasn't meaning that. I was just saying
it's all good.
Something that it's a trap I often fall down with.
We do. That's why I sometimes say your character's not there, but it's okay to, as a player, suggest what you want to suggest.
Yeah.
So you can still import into the scenario, but not actually be the one saying, my character says this. So, no, you say this.
Yes. As a player, you're in the same room, but you forget that as a character, you may not even be in the same city.
That is true. Which brings us to Ariadna and her character.
Who is day and age true striker, who's currently in the same space as most of the rest of her clan at the moment. And she is just a sector ranger, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. What's the difference between what I am now and what I was before?
You were a ranger before.
What you were before, you had no authority that you could assume.
Okay.
You were only allowed to go where you were tasked.
Oh, okay.
As now, if you take authority, you have to justify that authority later.
Right.
So if you take control of anyone beyond the troops you have, you then have to account for that to the higher beings.
So I'm now accountable.
Yes.
I knew there was a reason I didn't want to.
Previously, Kayana was the only accountable one, but now you're all accountable. And she's not required to be accountable for all of you because you are now raised up.
Damn, can't hide behind your vibro sword anymore.
No.
So at the moment I've enjoyed a brief victory against a bunch of are they like detonating droids?
There were a bunch of droids with explosives. So the droids could be any form of droid. They could even be mouse droids for all anyone knows.
Yeah. But
they were just droids in the darks that used tiny little legs to make it sound like there was an insect gittering through the ducts.
4 shots out of 4 though, I have to say I'm pleased with my performance as a sniper. So hopefully we're not too injured, but I gather that's going to be happening.
That will be coming in a moment. Yep. And online today we have Mark.
Maybe. Nope. Jed? Piper?
No, I believe Mark is gone. So...
No, Jed's gone. True to his character, or her character.
Not sure why he's gone. Okay, we'll get back to Ross.
Yes, I am playing Khalid, the Enforcer Assassin, now Gadgetee. I'm now starting to go down the path of my family.
Gadgetee is pretty cool. What is a Gadgetee though? It sounds cool, but what is it in reality?
It's the technical side. It's basically what it's the bounty hunter that's got all the gadgets.
Oh, I see. So you've got like the little flamethrower, and then you've got like the grappling hook, and you've got the little rockets.
Yeah, things like that. I can also make stuff too.
This is pretty cool. Pretty neat. Whistling Death. That's what I was trying to think of. That's pretty cool. All the cool stuff. Yeah. We're missing B1.
We're missing B1. We're missing Jed, and we're missing eBay.
Yeah.
So not sure if they will be joining us tonight. And I was poking Mark to see if he was,
if he was still here, or maybe he lost his connection.
Well, it makes it a bit hard when you're not sure what's happening there.
Yeah. Maybe when he was trying to turn off all the sounds and things like that, he got distracted. Yep.
The problem is it's not always that easy to type.
Are you up to do the recap?
Yeah, I'll do the recap.
All right. Let's get.
So, in terms of recap, last session we were inspecting the car from that Chandra brought in. It's what's his name? Fabio's car.
Oh no, that's
Officer Fabio's.
Yeah, Officer Fabio's car. We helped inspect it. Everything was kind of taken apart. Couldn't really find much of anything, so we decided to go to the orphanage. Once we were there, it's just we were kind of looking for some droids that were mysteriously dropped off by some unnamed person. But as the orphanage has a lot of unnamed people doing anonymous donations, we couldn't really be sure. So we did a search for these droids. Well, there were also happenstance some pest killers. What's the word again? Yes.
Pest control.
Pest control. There were some pest control guys getting rid of some really large scuttly bugs. We thought it was still weird, as we hadn't been able to find said droids that were dropped off. So our brave Thea went to go investigate into the vents and found some scuttly things that weren't bugs and were very explodey.
Exploding, non-working bugs.
Before this happened, we were sure to remove all orphans before.
Yes.
Yes.
Evacuate, not remove all orphans from
the
city.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I have to be very specific. So things got a little heated.
Heated, explodey.
Me and Carly went to go get her out of the exploded ventilation shaft. So now this thing is falling in on itself. Thea was able to find one of the pest control people who were missing.
Yes, the missing squib.
So his name was Jesse from back out, and I went to the hospital with Jed and Jesse. while Thea and Carla were back at the site, securing everything. At the
being accountable as we should be
at the end,
sector rangers now.
At the end of everything, I told Betty, set up a press conference because we need to announce that the fundraiser for the orphanage is still on, and Thea was setting up with our Devronian friend to get temporary accommodation for the orphans.
And security. Yep.
And so
for some reason,
that is a good summary.
Kids. Yeah, it was very good.
Okay, so picking up from today, the three of you are, the sector rangers.
Yes. Handy.
Yeah.
So the left and right hand and the head.
There we go.
Yep.
So what does that make us then from the waist down?
That's the underlings.
You see, that's why we've got 20 recruits.
No.
You're in the conference room
Yep.
dealing with the aftermath of the bombing. And Lieutenant Sandemo has gotten whatever footage and information he can for you to go through.
Okay.
So you can decide what you want to do from there. It's what did you want to take over the investigation? Did you want to do any more with this? Is this part of your investigation into terrorism and unrest and those speaking out about the establishment?
By Mandalore, I want to continue to investigate this abhorrent attack using children, orphans no less. The young ones, the foundlings.
So does this mean you're taking all of the orphans and adopt them into the Mandalorian Clan?
Come this close. Not quite there yet. There are notes from previous sessions saying volunteer and spend time at orphanage. Try and find donated kid-safe tech for orphanage kids to learn on. Find out, apprentice trade skill, educators that we can get in to teach orphans skills. So, it's only every 2 or 3
sounds like
lines.
you're to secretly take over the town.
Yeah. Starts with the children. Even if it's not possible, Thayer is at least ambitious.
You can't keep a culture going unless you keep people learning it.
Who's to say that we can't contact our clan and see whether or not they have any capacity to take in some of these foundlings? And since they're not being taught any way to survive at all, maybe they should be taught the way of Mandalore.
Could be something. Would be worth.
Well, it does mean that considering there currently is no orphanage, if there are currently no orphans, then that would make things so much easier for the authorities, because the orphans are suddenly off their books and no longer their problem.
Yeah. I'm thinking more about the orphans, not the authorities.
So, how many orphans are there?
At least 20. It sort of varies from time to time as orphans disappear and reappear.
You can't tell me though that when the Mandalorians are going through
for each orphan.
Sorry? A recruit for
one recruit for each orphan.
Except your recruits are not Mandalorians.
No, these ones would be sending home. But I would say that if the Mandalorians are coming in and collecting children after battles, they're probably collecting more than 1 or 2, so 20 probably wouldn't be too much to look at. And we're looking at a clan-wide type thing. And they might not all go, it might be just some.
And most of them would be asked if they want to stay.
Yeah.
Instead of, you must do this.
Yeah. I'm not saying we
option.
take them all in and they'd have no say. I'm just saying it's something that
Well, that's what I'm saying is
our fearless leader might
that
consider.
most clans give them the option. Then it's not a do or die.
Maybe worth giving a ring to. Oh God, what do we call him?
Dom.
Dom.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dom.
Maybe worth sending the ping to Dom.
Dom
Well,
Diesel.
Dom's all about family.
Exactly. Tell Dom
Mention the F
Diesel
word.
that we have potential more family members if he's willing to come talk to them.
Okay, moments after sending the message about family, Dom does get back to you and saying, with just one thing, saying, I am W.
What? On my way, yeah.
On my way, yeah. I'm W. It'd be great at this moment, like, you know how Ross would got the little voice clips of B1 for when David's not here sometimes? Vin Diesel clips from the Fast and the Furious movies about family. You know, just little quotes of, you know, family is everything. So we're reviewing all the footage and materials that Sandino has collected regarding the investigation.
That is correct.
For the assault on the orphanage.
Did the orphanage actually have any recording devices?
No, it's an orphanage. They barely register that there's kids there.
When we were initially investigating,
They only had the one computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had
And
like
even then
a-
it was ancient.
They had an
Okay,
ancient
so-
computer that couldn't even get onto the HoloNet.
So did the matron or whatever her name was able to give a description of the person who fronted up that was pretending to be a Imperial officer?
She said it
Oh,
was a guy, a sleazy, obnoxiously mustached guy in a green Imperial uniform.
Who came just short of offering to clean their pool.
She she just could not get over how sleazy this mustache was.
Yeah, images of was it Anduin or whatever his name is that's coming out soon.
Hey, Andor could quite easily fit into those stories very well.
Yeah.
So, as you're reviewing stuff, who's going to go through the footage?
I believe I've got some fairly good investigative skills.
I probably would assist.
Including hard-boiled, amongst other things.
I have 2 in perception.
Yep. Actually, glasses are just roll and find. Someone asked me yesterday, they're like, do you realise you have 2 sets of glasses? And I'm like, yes, it would be 3 on some days. Right. So I've got discipline, which I think comes on a. I've also got the hard-boiled good cop.
That's for when you're actually interrogating people.
Oh, okay, that's
Good
just
cop
for interrogation.
But good cop and bad cop are good abilities for interrogation.
Okay, what about hard-boiled? Is that
Hard-boiled.
part of my interrogative skills?
Where we are here. Okay.
Apparently, what stalker mean? I do not know what that means. It kinda sounds a
Stalker
little
gives
creepy.
you extra dice to coordination and stealth checks.
Ah, I see. So-
Hard-boiled, when recovering from an encounter, you recover an extra wound per advantage spell.
Okay, so none of this actually has any investigative capacity. So I just need to go off the ranks then that I've got.
Okay.
So my intellect and my cunning are just straight 2s. I've got 1
So-
ranking. Oh, sorry.
I was going to suggest you have a discipline check to look at going through all the different evidence and actually paying attention to it.
Yep.
Because
it's going to be bloody boring.
Yep. Because I remember when you were would vigilance work or discipline looking at reviewing footage. Because I had a rank in vigilance. But
and you also have a rank in discipline.
Yes. I'm just trying to figure out which one would be more.
Vigilance is being prepared for something.
Okay.
So, say you're waiting on B1 to throw a wrench at you while you're
Okay.
going through the computer stuff. Then
Okay.
vigilance would be perfect for waiting for
so
someone to
that's how
ambush you.
discipline is more appropriate. Awesome. We will do discipline then. Well, that's one of the reasons why I asked, because then I can learn.
And they managed to grab the dice that had fallen behind the cabinet.
Oh, God, I'm glad you remembered, because I forget.
Okay, so apparently you have had a rinse thrown in the works.
Oh.
With all the dice you got, you managed to get 3 advantages versus the
no success.
5 threat and 1 failure. So you ended up with a failure and 2 threat in the end.
So how disparagingly does Sandimo look at me when I absolutely fail?
The next thing Thea knows is someone hands her a coffee and says you fell asleep.
Oh, right.
Who would you like to have done that?
Crisis.
Okay, so yes.
I have 2 ranks in discipline. Yeah.
I think the stress of having 4 explosions in a small area and nearly having a building fall on top of her.
Thank you,
Exactly.
I really needed something reasonable to get me
You
out
kind
of
of have
this.
something
Has-
in the face.
So the adrenaline has finally worn out.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Very much appreciate you helping me save face.
Well, I am very persuasive.
Cool.
okay,
Did that change things?
it did. So you ended up with 2 successes and a threat.
See, this is why you're our leader.
Apparently,
It has nothing to do with the luck of the dice.
No, absolutely not.
whenever you show up, things work.
That's right. Yeah.
It's not like you get your
Thea
own known
doesn't
off.
know about the dice. Thea just knows that when her leader's around, things go well.
And to Kayana's own thought, she's like, why do things just work?
No, don't ask yourself that question. Just accept it.
Kayana,
It's
just like,
it's the will of Mandalore.
why? She was like, I know I'm the strongest, but also like, why do things just work for me?
Because it's the Mandalorian way, the strong rule.
The strong, I mean, it works. She kind of does not have the best self-confidence.
I think we're going to be trying working on that.
Which is why you're currently the leader.
I'll get my pom-poms out later.
The most competent person being the leader doesn't always work out well.
No,
Especially if they don't have the skills to back up the confidence.
Um,
So, going through the details, you do come up with various leads. What would one of those leads be?
We get the delivery vehicle. Some sort of details from there.
possibly a lead to the identification of Mr. Poolboy.
I like it. So we can get the delivery vehicle with a very unique marking. We can find where this vehicle came from and find the person.
Okay, looking at the footage, you do manage to get a ID of the Imperial transport that dropped the guy off and picked him up after he had been at the orphanage. There was nothing at the orphanage itself, so you never got to see video footage of the person, but considering no other Imperial vehicle was in the area at the same time, you did manage to get it on the traffic systems that it came into the area, stopped there and left.
Is this a legit Imperial vehicle? Is that something we can check?
It comes up as registered Imperial
Okay,
to the
right.
garrison on Elrood.
So I guess we want to contact the Imperial garrison and look into this vehicle.
Okay, so if you're going to contact the Imperial garrison, you're probably best going through either directly or going through one of your agents, because either you're going straight to the top or you're going through bureaucracy.
San Demo if we're doing bureaucracy.
Yes, because
Skilled.
as a sector ranger, the moment you start investigating, if you don't talk to the commander of the base, you'll be starting a
Bit of a problem.
yeah.
So, San Demo. Could you get in contact with the Imperial garrison and track down the vehicle logs? Maybe? Would that be one of the things we'd be after?
Well, to see if actually the vehicle returned.
If
Or
the vehicle is actually
stolen.
Yeah, exactly.
He says he'll get right on that, then he'll get back to the previous job he was working on.
Yeah.
Perfect.
He had basically dropped everything to come over with the bombing.
Yeah, I think I think that's perfectly fine. This takes precedence. So.
Though he can only delay the other one for so long before the people die.
Yeah, he's doing a pretty important investigation there too. So.
Yeah.
But his help with this is very greatly appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
So he says you should hopefully have something in the next couple of hours. Good luck with where you're going, and he takes what information you've got and hands off.
Cool.
Alrighty.
I think that's the GM code for you're on your own now.
Basically. Alrighty. I think that's fine. Have we already had the press conference?
No, I don't think so.
No, but you were looking at having a press conference.
Yes.
Would Betty be organising that? I think you said you contacted her for that.
To do that. Because we'll still be doing the fundraiser for the orphanage at the private airspace with security from the sector rangers.
Mm-hmm.
And because I thought about this a little bit about like what to announce and stuff. So you guys call it together, all that stuff.
Okay, so Betty has arranged for you to do it in front of the airfield.
Yep.
So it's got security. It's more open, and if anyone's going to try to do something, they're quite obvious.
Yeah.
So at this press conference, are you planning to showcase our rescued and re-limbed Squib and Steve with the broken nose?
If I was more
Pest
gonna have,
control
I was gonna have
Just
the
the children.
matron with the children.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have the exterminators.
Yeah, that's the word.
Exterminators.
That's not the
Showing up
word.
Yeah.
due to the fact that this terrorist goes after anyone who's associated with the Imperials.
I was pretty sure we just really wanted the children, but I didn't know whether or not we'd include the others.
So,
What about is it Devro?
the
Mr. Dever.
Devronian. Mr. Dev. What about him? Have we
Again,
coordinated with him?
he doesn't do great PR on
Okay.
screen.
Right, so that's fine.
Because of most of the PR doesn't like
non-human.
it really is more human centric, and his horns do detract a little bit from it as as does his red skin.
Mm-hmm.
I was just looking at the people who helped us until we're there. And
But
considering.
he's happy to help publicize the event.
Mm-hmm.
Just doesn't want to be
Like a face of it.
so we
face
do
it.
the matron and the children.
partly because it also takes away from the children.
Purpose of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, call together the press conference, ask the matron and the children to be there, and I'll also have Scarlett and Thea at my sides, left hand, right hand.
Has Dom Diesel turned up yet? How long is passing between our meeting, Sandino going off, and us having this press conference? And
Well, you're not at the press conference. You're planning the
we're
press
planning
conference.
it, yeah.
It's unless I say the scene's changed, you're still
Yep.
talking about what you're doing,
Mhm.
not suddenly being in different areas.
Yeah,
That's me just as a GM
that's why
saying.
I asked it as a question. May seem obvious to you, but it's not always
So
obvious to me.
that's why I'm trying to explain.
The reason I'm asking is because he may have a preference to the kind of press coverage that we get or give as a clan leader. And I don't know if that's relevant, but if we're adopting some of them, he may or may not want that known.
I would not think that we would want that. No,
I
because
don't
our
think we
clan
would.
is in hiding.
Yeah, that's.
So I wouldn't make it obvious that like Mandalorians are stealing the children.
Yeah,
quote
yeah.
unquote.
And indoctrinating them into a life of warfare.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I bring it up, because even if we're not going to discuss it, I can't mind read, so I'm wanting to make sure we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
So we're not about to go,
No,
hey,
it's
by
good.
the way, you know,
No,
all
it's
of
good.
these kids are fine.
So I'm gonna run my speech by these two
Mm-hmm.
first before anything is
Okay,
actually
so
announced.
Yeah.
you've only just sent on San Diego. You've had this plan that you want to do this. Betty says she's arranging it, and so you've got plenty of time to run the speech by them.
Sweet. Alright. So, what I was thinking of announcing is addressing the situation, in saying that the Sector Rangers received notice of suspicious activity throughout the, what's the city we're in? Because we're on the planet Elrood.
Oh,
You're on the
right.
planet Elrood. You're in the city Elroodian, I think it is.
Yeah.
No, okay. Where the hell did I get coin from?
Coin is the previous planet.
The system.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yes,
we just got
the
word
system.
in the system of potential terrorist activity by what's his name?
It is
Silverman.
Elrood and so
Elrood?
yeah, Elroodan.
Okay, gotcha. So we got word in the city that there was potential terrorist activity by Sol Guerrera, so we began our investigation. As the fundraiser for the orphanage was about to start, we knew that would be a high-profile area. As we were doing security sweeps and already planning on transferring where this fundraiser was going to happen, we discovered bombs that inevitably were unable to be contained, thus destroying the area. These bombs were made, in fact, to cause mass casualties, including the children who have no other place to stay.
And we're very disadvantaged.
And very, very disadvantaged and have no place to stay. The Sector Rangers, though, understand the discourse as... Can I say that? The Sector Rangers...
you're test running it.
Yeah, I'm test running this. So the Sector Rangers understand the discourse as the Empire has been making the galaxy safer. That wording there. Though we do,
I'm not having to resist going. Ugh.
yeah. Though we do not. What's the word I'm looking for? Commend. We do not condone. We don't condone the harming of innocents during this time, and
To make political statements.
to make political statements. Thus, we want to announce to the public that the fundraiser for these disadvantaged, needy orphans is going ahead with security provided by the Sector Rangers. At the airfield, everything is still on time. All of the arrangements are still in place. Please come by, donate what you can to these orphans, give them a new home, blah 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 blah.
Technology.
And just know that the Sector Rangers are here to protect
Here to protect you.
everybody in the sector.
Donations of food and technology, welcome.
So
Please turn up to
what do you
buy a
guys-
pretty car.
What do you guys think? Do you have any comments, any thoughts?
I
Well, we
think
want.
we one at the end that says, click here if you want to know more.
Yeah. We don't happen to have any pictures of
Scans
adorable
you
orphans. I think it's good. I like
I'm
the
sure you have plenty of
message.
pictures of adorable orphans that you can just take from the footage that you got from them being interviewed after the.
Irony of our fearless leader aiding, getting people through to the ambulance while she's.
Well, there's one of her carrying the squib,
Oh, there you go.
except he's not an orphan.
Ooh.
Wait a
Can
minute.
I appeal to people's hearts? No, I don't. Actually,
us-
not. Never mind. I was gonna say because my parents are dead.
Yeah.
I'm an orphan.
Mm.
But I don't
You may not want to
But I
tell
don't.
them that.
I don't want to mention that
Mm.
because I don't want to give away that we are in
Yeah.
state clan. So
I
They do- 'cause they
agree with
do-
the line of
they
of
do
not
identify my
condoning-
material or my armor as Mandalorian style. So they do know I'm Mandalorian.
You might just want to be a cool guy, looking like the cool guys, but not actually a cool guy.
It's me.
You know, you could market yourself as a pretender.
Well, it is done up in the colours of the Sector Rangers.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it might be the Mandalorian style, but it's in the
Sector Ranger
colours.
colors. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
And I'm sure non-uniformity is not a issue for the Sector Rangers. Whereas where you're in the Imperial military, army, or navy,
Yeah.
non-uniformity would be like, here's this wall, just stand here for a moment.
Right.
I think our greatest objection would be Salguero's tactics to use these kids to make political statements, or to use innocence. And although we don't want to outright say that we disapprove of Salguero, us saying that overarching, we don't approve of using children to make political statements is reasonably specific and yet also non-specific at the same time. So bureaucratic Sandemo would be proud.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you've got your plan. Betty says you've got about an hour now before the press conference.
Yep.
And then you get a message from Dom saying he's currently on approach to Elrood, having grabbed the first ship he could to get out here. Just don't worry, I'm sure the previous person didn't really need it after all.
Family comes first. Family first. That could be our tagline. No.
I'm sure it's Dom's.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, at least we're not having a drag race to raise money for the... Oh, wait, are we?
There's a car involved.
There's a car involved. We could have a drag race to raise money for the orphanage's family.
Sure, there's a certain dollar that wouldn't mind.
We could borrow Vex.
Yeah, we could borrow that.
We don't know if Katia took Vex. do
I
we?
think Katia took that.
Well,
But
Vex has
no,
been
well,
missing
Vex is
since
different.
Oh, so Vex
Katie has
isn't
been
around.
missing. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Dare we say eBay's? No.
eBay is
We've
also
got
currently
eBay's
being
vehicles.
MIA, as eBay is being busy elsewhere.
That's right.
Thanks, Mike. Leaving us without a car. Even if it couldn't win the race.
I got a fast bike.
That's true. We could do bike versus Officer Fabio's car.
Well, the bike will win at the moment.
Well,
Considering Officer Fabio's car is still in pieces, yes, the bike would win quite easily.
the question is how quickly B1 and the recruits got it back together.
Well, they expect to get it back in time for the auction.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. We don't have to have the drag race at the press conference.
Mm-hmm.
But if we wanted to raise money through, say, an event of this kind, we could plan for it and advertise it.
You could.
Who hasn't had a drag race in Star Wars for family?
Definitely not Dom.
Yes. Oh goodness.
Dom might even offer to bring his own car
It's
or vehicle to
A bit
drag
late for
race.
that.
Hmm.
He's already in orbit.
I'm sure he's got contacts.
What? So any car
Depends
he
on your
takes is his then?
imaginations. It's John Diesel. Who would say no? Unless,
Okay.
of course, it was Dwayne Rock. Rival clan.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's funny.
I'll
Yeah.
stop being silly.
I don't really have much else to prepare, unless you guys.
I guess we want to meet.
Or anything further about the investigation, or are we just waiting on?
We want to meet.
Waiting on Santino to find stuff out.
He'll most
Martin
likely
just
still be
said
doing
that-
so while you're still doing the press conference,
Yeah.
because it takes many hours.
Martin
So-
said Dom Diesel was arriving now. So maybe we want to meet with him not at the office where
He's in
we
the
can
air
monitor.
now. He just left.
I thought he was landing.
No.
Oh no, he's taken
Just
off.
took off.
Okay, alright. Forgive me. I get confused really easily.
Dom Diesel is in orbit of the planet Europe.
So,
He's in orbit of Elrood.
yeah.
Coming in for landing. It
So
takes
he
a while
is
to do
coming
so.
in for landing, but he's just... Yeah, that might take a while.
Considering how many people would be coming into Elrood at this point,
He's a captain, is he?
he,
Did he have a rank?
He did.
Captain, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is he Captain Diesel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In orbit. So while we're waiting for all that to happen, I would probably keep going through all the investigation stuff because we've still got to track down what the hell happened, don't we?
Well, you've got as much as you can get
Yeah.
before
so
you
we
get more
can't-
information.
Okay, so we can't do anything more on that.
You can only look at the footage so often before you get run out of new things you can learn.
What about our previous investigation to this before all this happened? Or is that the same investigation?
That's where it kind of led us.
It led us to there, so we kind of got
Yeah.
to stop. So we've got nothing to do right now. That can't be right.
Polish your armor and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Well, I will either do training with the recruits, or I will put on Thrawn's practice Mandalorian style dueling videotape and practice my Mandalorian dueling technique. Because I don't want to be embarrassed if I ever end up in a duel.
Is there such a thing as like an AI sketch artist for Star Wars? Could we hit, is it possible to get the matron to do something with like...
You already asked that last session. I believe she was going to go off and try to
And do
do.
that.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. I just couldn't remember. Yeah, best I can do is just guarantee security before the press conference, and then just organizing security for the.
So as far
Just
as
make sure we have all of the shifts in order.
Yeah.
Nobody is in or out without ID
ID.
checks. No outside security other than people we have already
authorized. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if there's nowhere else we can go on the investigations we're currently running, and we don't have any new leads to pursue just yet, the conference is all being prepared.
Mhm.
Captain Diesel's not here yet. We could go on adventures. Feel like doing some bounty hunting? No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Do we want to chase up?
Check in with patrols if they've noticed anything.
Yep.
Most of your patrols have been
Checking
moved to the airfield because you
true.
only had small numbers.
True.
Yeah, we had 20. We put 5 at the time, but that doesn't mean that more aren't doing other things. We had Imperial engineers and bomb investigations. I presume that the notes that San Diego brought included all of that, so we've done what we can there.
Most of that is still ongoing because they have to wait for the structure to be safe to investigate properly.
Yep.
and that can take a couple of days,
Yep.
as it only happened the night before.
Yep.
Because B1's not here, we can't advance the murder of the Wookiee investigation.
Is Jesse the exterminator still in the hospital?
He is.
Oh yeah, have we?
Is he conscious?
I believe he was. He had his foot reattached. That's all I remember.
Yeah.
He probably is conscious by now. Though you do have probably not enough time to go to the hospital and make the press conference.
Okay.
You can always go to him after the press conference.
We'll do that.
So basically, we don't have time for much else but go to the press conference.
Yep.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay, so the three of you get dressed up for it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have to have ceremonial sword.
Really? Ceremonial.
Ceremonial to hit stuff with. Yes.
Everything. I suggest.
Well, hitting things is part of the ceremony.
Yeah.
Not hitting things with that sword would be a shame.
Mandalorian ceremony.
Can't put it away unless it's covered in blood. What?
Yeah.
Someone else's blood.
I'll take my force bike along.
Of course you do.
So yeah,
I'm proud.
We'll go to the press conference.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people there.
Lots of people there. Lots of media. You see big Imperial flag draped behind the podium.
So glad it's you speaking and not me.
There are stormtroopers checking IDs of people throughout the area. Basically giving everyone's ID a scan, and people getting checked and triple checked.
Yep. Okay.
I was going to suggest maybe giving an inspiring speech to our recruits before we send them out to do security for the press conference, but considering my inspiring speeches recently, I think they'd do better without that, so I'm just going to make myself look pretty and stand on the right side of my leader.
Alright.
Okay, so standing up there, you do see a crowd of people, the drones that do the recording, many press people. You have many microphones sitting on the desk in front of you.
Yep. Very nice, very nice. So I'll kind of shake off any nerves, and I'll just go ahead, get out there, and do this speech as rehearsed. Do you want me to go through it again?
Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'll say thank you for coming today. My name is Kayana Caprier. I'm the Senior Sector Ranger here in the Elrood Sector.
And then I just say that, you hear the screeching noise come over the microphone.
Okay. Is it just feedback?
And one of the monitors nearby, you see someone else appear on screen.
Oh, great.
Cut it. Cut the feed.
All right. Yeah. I'll indicate to
Cut the
Carla
feed?
to cut the feed.
Carl is not taking this feed. The media outlets all have the feed going up.
Okay. Doesn't look like
So you're at a
press.
press conference. You're generally getting everyone else to record and send stuff.
Okay. Out of our hands.
And you can stop talking, but unfortunately they're no longer sending the signal.
Right.
Yeah. Is there any Imperial security officers nearby?
Possibly, but as you think that the person on the screen starts talking,
I'm guessing it's Sol Guerrero.
Is there any way, as we're in action, is there any way that somebody with computers could check where the feed is coming from? Because we're in a field and they're just people projecting. Is there any way to actually trace that feed? Okay. I guess as this will be in action as it goes on, directing somebody. Trace that feed. Yeah. So.
Okay, so as you're doing that, you hear in the background saying, I am Saul Guerrera, and I have authorized the attack on this Imperial establishment. And it goes into this whole retromol about how the Empire is bad, and supporting it in any way is bad, and how they kill everything and everyone. They are oppressive, and...
I gather we've got no way of interfering with this at all. The direction to trace the feed has not.
The only thing, I think the only thing we can do is trace the feed and where it's coming from.
And if that's,
we would have to be physically there to cut the feed.
Okay.
And if that's happening, it's not your characters who are doing it.
Yeah.
You've asked someone else to do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So whether they're doing it or not, it's hard to tell.
I don't have the skills to do it anyway, so I can't go off and do it. So.
And he talks about how...
If only we had a bolt sack here to help us.
I get
it. Yeah.
And he goes on to talk about how this is a symbol of the Empire's flaws and issues, that they would not look after people, and destroying the orphanage is as a show of the issues with the Empire, and goes on to all these other different...
He's killing children, and that's the Empire's fault?
He says they don't take care of him. But I'm going to point out, the Empire has only been here only had a presence in the past couple years.
Mm-hmm.
So, to his point.
Bullshit. I don't think we get to argue with him.
While he's talking, that one of the deck guys comes up to you and tells you that he's whispering to you because you are still recorded by the people in front of you.
Yep.
Even if it's not going out.
Yep.
That the signal seems to be coming from orbit.
So that means so they're in orbit at least.
Would be on
It might be.
one of the moons.
It could be. It could be from a satellite, a ship, or just a probe that's being, and it's basically blatting down from above.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily have to be there.
Nope. Which is what he's good at. From what we could figure out, he hasn't been on the planet for at least a week.
And most likely this is a recording.
Yeah.
And the recording does go on about the auction and blowing up the car, and you have the idea of it was supposed to happen differently than what actually happened.
Okay. Does he come across as a lunatic though?
He's a fanatic.
Yeah, but we know that. But is he coming across like that?
Well, he comes across as a quiet, well-spoken, passionate person.
Yeah, that's the last thing we need.
Who is pointing out faults of the Empire's bureaucracy, treatment of citizens, and freedom. So the not looking after the orphans, basically saying they had evacuated the orphans beforehand.
They did not.
Well, it's also saying that it happened during the auction, which it did not. So I'm saying there are some things in there that aren't actually there. So you get the idea that they're intending on evacuating the orphans before they did it.
That doesn't actually make it better, I don't think.
It doesn't, but if he did or didn't, collateral damage is not a big thing for him.
Yeah.
Making it sound as if he does in the recordings is stuff he does that helps plot popularity and make people believe in him, even if it's complete garbage and lies.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
And he's about to go into some more rigmarole and it just cuts out.
Okay. Gotcha.
And the aide comes back saying we traced it to a satellite which one of the TIE fighters took out.
like it.
Nice.
Took them a while to get there. They apologise for the delay, but you're back on. You're back live again.
You may need to adjust your speech.
I'll say, good people, as you see, there has been an interruption by a known terrorist going by the name of Solgar. His plan was to blow up the orphanage in a few days' time. As evidenced by this video recording, his plan was for these bombs to go off during the event planned for this date. It was due to the vigilance of my team and our investigation that we were able to find these bombs ahead of time, and that all members of the public were made safe before any further action was taken, though the explosions were not able to be avoided. This is work of somebody who, though is very passionate in their cause, is misdirected and not understanding the harm that is uncaring in the harm that he brings to those around him, even those that are as innocent as orphans. Should he have actually evacuated these orphans ahead of time, there's no word to say about any of the attendees at the coming event. So we would just like to say that we do not condone his actions, and though he may be passionate in his cause, he is misguided in his attempts to discuss his political opinions.
It was also going to be a family event. There were going to be kids, rides and things.
Exactly. So
this even if the orphanage was evacuated.
Even if the orphanage was evacuated, many innocent lives could still be hurt.
I'll make it a negotiation check for your character to see how well you do it.
I got one.
You got one?
Yes.
And one green?
I don't know if that's an assistant orphan.
Well, I'm going to say with your speech you get a blue.
Yay!
But considering you were interrupted, I put it in a black.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Okay, so apparently there's a lot of people shaking their head as you're talking and discussing this.
Yeah, it was not good. No, it wasn't good. No. I did my best. As I said, I don't know if I could have assisted you, but I don't know that it would have helped.
And you believe
Everyone's trying to help.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
And you believe that a lot of the footage is now going out with you standing there, not sure what to do, looking around, and your voice is being put over some of that.
Yeah.
And then people coming up and whispering to you and pointing and gesturing in various directions and.
This is not
very
good. Is there anything we can do to help?
And then some more footage pops up on the feed from one of the media outlets saying this is just in from recovered from another satellite showing that Saul Guerrera has accepted the challenge of the Sector Rangers.
Great.
You have no idea what challenge was made or issued, but apparently he's accepted a personal challenge.
I'm tempted to do something that my character probably shouldn't, but it's something she would likely do. I don't know. I get very angry when families and children are involved, especially foundlings, considering I'm such a family-focused person myself. I'd be tempted to make my own speech, but this could get us all in trouble, so I'm really sorry if it does. But I will grab the mic. And I'll say, listen here, I was in this explosion. Those children could have died. And I will stand between any terrorist and any harm to children at any time. Bring it.
Okay, so...
I like it.
That's it. I'd be fuming. This guy's going to say that he's protecting his children and he didn't. And I was there. And I did stop it.
You did.
And if they wanted to, they could verify that, the media, quite easily. And we have Squib as a witness if we needed one.
Ooh, nice.
So you stand up there and there's a lot of cheering and clapping for Thea as she basically as she challenges Sol Guerrera's.
He's been an asshole. Sorry.
Of course he is, but unfortunately he's the equivalent of Al Qaeda and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And unfortunately needs to be portrayed that way.
These kids cannot be his pawns.
Yeah,
And that is what I would say.
And he is not a nice person in general. So trying to make him out to be the every person's hero doesn't work well. And showing that he does the horrible stuff to people is part of his story.
I have a feeling though that there might be some sniper thingies aimed at me very soon. And maybe my clan members.
And there's a lot of clapping, and then you see some of the news reports going out onto the media about Saul called out by the sector rangers as target number one.
Well, he is, because he's endangering children. We're not going to stand for that.
And basically bounties have all been edited to remove the bringing alive.
That's scary. But also kind of satisfying. Morally, I mean, two places about that. Personally, Thea isn't though. She'd quite happily take the shot if she had the chance. Okay, so...
And there is currently a GoFundMe campaign for increasing the bounty.
I love that.
Where people can just add in their extra amount for someone who's willing to attack children.
I've still got my bounty hunter's license. I might be able to call in and
get some extra credits.
Cash it in, help those orphans.
That though, it's not called GoFundMe. It's basically Go Catch Me.
Catch me. Yeah,
I love that.
Come catch me.
Funny true, go catch me.
Carla, are you doing anything during all of this?
I'm just going to be vigilant at the moment.
You're going to be vigilant? Vigilant
So
or
it looks
vigilante?
So it looks like B1's got his finale for his TV show.
Yeah, is it B1 that's got the TV show? Or?
Both of them have a TV show.
Okay. Well, neither of them are here, so I say they don't get any footage from today.
And so yes, you now have a new campaign of the average
I didn't
Imperial.
mean that sort of, mean way, by the way. I was trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you... Sorry, trying to get my words back. So you now have a Imperial campaign where members of various planets are offering up increases to the reward to catch Saul Guerrera.
Are we getting any information about any intel about how to track him down?
Not this quickly.
Okay, that's fine. That's understandable. I presume, though, since there is a bounty, how does that work? If bounty hunters are looking for someone that, say, the sector rangers are after, do the bounty hunters get in contact and say, "Hey, I've got this wanted dude"?
They will generally take it into the office, and then you get to collect it from there.
Okay. Right.
But they then collect the bounty money for them.
Yeah, no, it's fine if they collect the bounty. I was just curious, how does that work when there's a bounty hunter out there that does catch up with in a situation like this with a villain, for lack of a better word. Do they just go straight? They don't deal with us. They just go to the bounty office.
No,
I'm guessing.
Most likely the guild would deal with us, saying
yes,
the fugitive has been dealt with.
Yeah.
And it's equivalent of having lawyers come to you.
Oh, okay.
Because that way, the lawyer's brokering the payment,
Okay.
so that the hunter, who generally isn't skilled with words, because that's not what hunters are skilled with.
Right. No.
that's the guild gets their money, the hunter gets their money, and you get the target without a angry hunter shooting you because you've insulted him.
Yeah, no, I wasn't sure how that side of things worked, because even though I've been a bounty hunter, I've been a sector ranger for I think a little bit longer.
You have, yes.
Yeah. So I don't have as much experience.
Because your characters were more suited to being rangers than hunters.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get word from Dom that he's watched your interesting footage.
Yeah.
But he's at the starport and asking if there's somewhere private you guys can catch up.
Would we have a regular place, since we've met up with him before, that we consider secure where we would meet him?
We had the not the bunker, but the
You had a room by the starport,
yeah,
but
the room by the starport.
you didn't keep that up.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I wanted to make sure because we have the ranger bunkers at the training facility, and then we have our office.
now.
Would our office be suitable to that?
No, not if we didn't want.
It could, but then Betty is working for the Empire.
Yeah.
True.
But I mean, in terms of the clan, like, we wouldn't be the only clan members on Elrood who are earning money for the family. Wouldn't there be like a place the clan goes when they have clan business to deal with?
Most of them are on coin.
Yeah,
Most of the clan.
we were assigned to Elrood.
But we've met with him on
But that's when we had the room.
That was when we were in the
And he would come in by shuttle once a week or two.
So I think
do so.
maybe what we would possibly do is, without Betty, just arrange a room, even by the hour or by the day, to meet with him in.
Yeah.
And then we would say get... Carla, do you have any... I know you have some sort of computing and things, something to scan for listening devices and, debug a room type deal.
Yeah, I do have a scanner, but I'm not very good at using it.
Okay, so is the only people good at that all people that are busy at the moment?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you need somebody who's good with computers.
Yeah. There's a definite flaw with our group. We might have to
Try our best.
Yeah, because I don't think I've got any computing.
No.
At all. No, I don't. So
Sorry.
yeah, this is gonna be
Intelligent people, so.
not
us.
Yeah, no, not us.
Okay, so it looks like we just have a droid who's come online.
Hey, we got
So
might
I
have
will
come in
pipe him
range.
in and we'll get
Depends on his Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
That must suck.
Yeah.
Being stuck in the wheel of ISPs.
it's not in yet.
Okay. Oh, it's really messy. Okay.
It's currently spinning its way in.
I'm gonna get shit pulling bolts over me.
You said that just comes out right.
And that's David introducing his character referred to as the bolt sack.
Of course, my husband would have dropped me right in that.
How do you say
If I
who's
had more than half an hour's sleep, I'd be less immune.
Yeah. Alright, hello.
Hello! I take it back!
Hang on 2 seconds, sorry guys.
No worries.
No you don't. But,
Oh, he's gonna punish me.
Look,
And to be honest,
I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed.
Oh my god, that hurts!
Well, you shouldn't be that offended by the fact that people are calling us meat sacks. Hey, it's not about what I call you, it's about what you call me. This isn't democracy, this isn't fair. This is the United States of the Republic of B1337, the amazing, brilliant, talented, smart, capable,
See, this is why he has all the recruits.
homicidal droid.
The recruits aren't recruits, they're his followers.
Yeah.
Are you gold now?
No, he's in just like
That's funny.
he's going to probably go say,
Viva the droid revolution.
No, I don't care about that. No, I don't care about
No,
that.
it's
droid.
Viva
They're
the
not.
B1 domination.
Yeah, exactly right. It's not about the other droids, just me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, could we,
You're a megalomaniac.
as
You're a-
B1 rejoins us, could we book a private room
Carlin,
at a cantina?
you say
You
that
can.
like it's a bad thing.
And I'll give you a chance to update David on what he's missed out on.
So as B1 rejoins us, since he's at the airfield putting the car together, we have B1 rejoin us because we just had a technical disaster, and he's probably just like, "What were you guys doing?" What has happened is
Wow, what did you dumbasses do?
so what has
She got
happened
hacked.
is Lieutenant Sandemo was giving us evidence from the bombing, and as we looked into the footage, we found the vehicle that the sleazy mustached man came in. So he was going to search that up, as it was registered to the Empire at the garrison on Elrood, or on our planet, on the planet we're on. So Sandemo was helping out with that. We were organizing press conference. I had a great speech.
Fantastic speech.
Fantastic speech.
Amazing
Practiced.
speech.
It was so good. But of course, as soon as we get started, our feed gets interrupted by a certain Sol Guerrera. Seems to be a pre-recorded video meant to be sent out after said explosion was actually supposed to occur. So there was some information given away there.
Does B1 know about the exploded orphanage?
Yeah, he was here last time.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Right? Wait. No, I don't think so.
It sounds familiar.
No, I'm pretty sure he wasn't at the exploded orphanage.
Yeah.
Because I'm
He was
pretty
not.
sure he would have exploded all of those droids himself.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, there's an exploded orphanage.
Wow, that's hilarious.
Don't worry, none of the
Why
kids
didn't
were
I
there.
think of that?
So what happened is we were investigating where Sol Guerrero was possibly going to strike, and we found out the orphanage, or the fundraiser for the orphanage, was going to be the target. We went to do a security sweep. We found bug bombs. We exploded them. The building came down, but we got out. Nobody harmed.
Them?
Huh?
You exploded them?
I did. I sniped all four.
Well, it was dark.
The droids, not the orphans.
No.
Yeah. The droid.
Yeah.
So no
The
huge,
exploding droids, no orphans were harmed.
no living
One
creature.
exterminator's nose was broken, and another exterminator's foot was temporarily
Off.
removed and then replaced.
That's hilarious.
He didn't have a leg to stand on.
So no. Overall, no
Also, just a
casualties.
heads up, for the next 45 minutes, I'm going to have sketchy reception.
That's okay.
That's okay.
So anyway, so yeah, explosion, all that stuff. We had a press conference. Sol Guerrero interrupted that. We sent a Empire to investigate where the feed was coming from. They destroyed a satellite where the feed was coming from, and then we tried to continue the press conference. People didn't like my speech, even though I rehearsed it. AKA the dice hate me. But then Thea was able to grab the mic and be like, "Listen, we're gonna get this guy." And they were like, "Oh my god, yay!" And the bounty reward.
I live for your summaries.
I really do. So the bounty reward for Sol Guerrero went up because people are donating to Go Catch Me. And our.
Why do I sense Mike in that?
Mike's right
Unfortunately,
here.
there's no mic here today.
Yeah. So,
We had a mark, but he disappeared. We're not quite sure why.
yeah,
Hopefully he's
so.
That's alright, he's not real people anyway.
So, we then we also phoned our Mandalorian captain, Dom, because there's all these orphans, aka potential foundlings. So, family. So that is where we are now. We're trying to organize a meeting with Dom so that we can discuss future Mandalorian business.
And I've also seen that the bounty hunting postings for Saul have been edited. They've removed the bring in alive part and just left the dead part.
after my inspiring
Has about the orphans.
speech. So, yeah.
Pretty good.
B1 has a number of ideas about what to do with the orphans.
I'm sure B1 does. I think most of that would involve turning them into, I don't know, followers.
They're not for the recruits.
No, only one idea turns them into followers. The other one turns them into credits.
Yeah,
No. Turn them into credits.
What?
Sell them into slavery?
No, no.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately not. Right now...
Money in your family.
Well, we want them to be a part of the Mandalorian family, not a part of the slave family.
Oh, you mean the B1 family?
Sure.
We can all be one together.
In this... Oh no. In this horrible punishing world, do these orphans get to live as a part of this family?
Look, in one of the three options, they get to live.
Well, in that case, let's be one together.
Fantastic, I have new students.
I knew B1 already was giving off cult leader vibes, but like, this is...
If anyone was going to pull off cult leader, it would be B1.
If it makes you feel any better, there will be no Kool-Aid at the end of the story.
I'm sure there will be upgrades as they become closer to their fearless leader. The more robotic they are, the better.
Ah, yes.
Exactly. Anyway, so these three assistants will help care for these poor orphans.
So, yeah, what did we need computers checked for?
We're meeting with Mr. Family.
Yes.
Captain Family.
Yes.
And we need to make sure that the
Security
room at the starport is secure.
Yes.
Yeah, just assume B1 helps you with that. I'm starting to lose reception.
Yep.
All good. I shall start that up for you. So yes, having a sweep of the area, B1 feels good with his report that no bugs here.
Cool.
Are you leading this meeting with Mr. Family?
Exalted leader? Sure. So, I'll report back to Dom that there has been an incident with the orphanage here on Elrood, and so there are many displaced orphans after this war crime of the...
Oh yeah, this would be a war crime.
This war crime of the orphanage being... their home being destroyed. And I couldn't help but empathize with some of them. And so I thought he might come here to give some of them the option to join our clan. Yeah. That's all.
Adoption. Let's call it adoption rather than...
No, it's
joining our clan.
family. It's families, so, you know.
I mean in public.
In public.
Yeah.
Adoption.
Yeah.
Not adoption by sector rangers, it's just
Yeah.
adoption by an unknown source.
Exactly. By some caring and loving, welcoming families like ours.
Mm-hmm.
He says he will get in touch with he asks about who's involved in it.
I would say that the best person to contact would be the matron Helen.
Yep.
She knows all of the orphans. If you can get in contact with her, she would welcome any help that she can get during this trying time.
Yeah, we'll see what he can sort out.
You could end up with 20 new family members who all end up hanging out with B1.
Whoever he chooses, that he can take that to coin with them, because Elrood is not a safe place for him.
No, not at the moment.
You would like to see someone try to attack anything on the coin homeworld, because the entire coin population would basically hunt down and kill that person.
Exactly. So, get them to
We
a
need
safe
to
area.
get that.
They are already trying to hunt down and kill that person, even though it wasn't their planet.
Nice.
But he used to have allies on coin until that incident.
I see. Well, that makes sense.
Some of his associates on Coin didn't survive the broadcast.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Well,
to hear.
he's angered at people who believe in family above and honor above everything else, and he acted very dishonorably.
Yeah, well...
And anyone who knew anything related to him basically went after his assets on Coin.
I see. Did we get any of those assets, just out of curiosity?
No.
As in family?
That the family didn't, but we were lucky not to be caught in the fallout because he generally deals in humans because they can walk in and out of Imperial facilities, and we look close enough that we're not that much different.
Yeah, okay. That's not so good.
So we didn't lose many members of the family, but we did lose a couple.
Oh, really? Anybody we actually know? Or?
He mentions a couple of names who you do know, because the family's fairly small.
Okay, alright. That's...
Basically, they pulled back and said, we're not going to fight.
While he's here, and speaking of losing lives, I mention, is it Stucky? No, the murdered Wookiee.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned the murdered Wookiee's case and asked him if he happens to know anything about that, and if he doesn't, whether or not they might be able to find out more about what's going on there in relation to Piper and...
From Coin, most of the Coinites were helping Wookiees get out of the sector as the security started ramping up in the sector. Wookiees are not people as far as the Empire is concerned.
Does he know this Wookiee? I believe we've got a photo of the Wookiee.
He looks as... Fortunately, he's not that familiar with many Wookiees.
That's fine, I just figured it wouldn't hurt to ask.
But he does know that it's not above the Imperials to fabricate evidence to make you believe what they want you to believe.
So it's possibly the Imperials that have harmed this Wookiee. Maybe not, but maybe.
He said he wouldn't be surprised because it's not something they're accountable for if they do it.
And considering that we've lost some family members to this outfall of Saw Gerrera, is there any information that he can give us that might help us in tracking him down?
Apparently, Sol was in contention with Officer Fabio.
Yep. Oh.
Because
we thought that, but that's
Officer Fabio was actually looking into things that Saul was doing.
Oh.
And Saul silenced him.
So does this have relation to poor Piper's situation then?
Most likely. And that's why he's continuing his attack on things relating to Officer Fabio, because Fabio had started unraveling Saul's network in Elrood.
Do you happen to know then whether or not officially or unofficially, probably unofficially, Chandra Dell is involved in any of that, and whether or not she could use our assistance in pursuing those same goals?
No, Chandra has been continuing since then. She has remained more under the radar than Officer Fabio because he was the distraction. So while everyone looked at him, she did stuff while he was in the limelight.
Is Piper / Jed safe at the moment then, or considering this is happening here, and
possibly, though there are rumors that he is hunting for Piper, particularly due to being the poster girl of the Empire, and wanting to make an example on camera of Piper.
So we may want to just, even though Jed is not on the Piper radar at the moment, I suggest we don't really want to leave her alone. Because a public example of, well, we don't want to hurt anyway, But if they do a public example of that, that'll be even worse. Not just for
I will
our family.
share with Dom that Piper is no longer in the public eye. Though we do have a friend named Jed, who he operates in the same capacity as Piper has in the past.
Would Dom know this though already?
No, I don't think he would.
Okay, alright.
He just nods. He doesn't show if he knows.
Because he didn't care about Piper.
He didn't care about Piper?
Doesn't like her.
Oh, really?
Well, he knows that she's important, but he told me she's important.
Oh, that's
Important.
right. Yes,
But
I did forget that.
Isn't the most welcoming towards her.
Yeah, okay. So regardless of his beliefs, we still want to
Well, told something is important and believing something is important are two things.
Yeah, okay.
So you believe he's been told that Piper's important, so
But he doesn't believe it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he does what he can to fulfill his promises.
So would we then...
Because that order came from Piper's grandmother, correct?
Yeah. Would we then be telling him that we know that then?
I would say that Piper is no longer in the public eye and that we have a friend named Jet that operates in the same capacity. And then he wouldn't care past that.
Okay. Alright. If you think that's safe to say, I might even just say that, we don't know where Piper is now anymore.
No, what I would say, I would give him the implication that Piper is Jet.
Okay.
Like, that's safe enough to say. I would, like implying it in my words there.
Yeah.
But with the understanding that we know Piper is not safe.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. My main thing is that we need to probably have someone with her at all times, just in case, because it sounds like it's a fairly high threat to her.
Yeah.
If someone wants to make an example of orphans, what is that same horrible person going to do to our family member?
Well, so far, to the public's knowledge, Piper has disappeared. Piper doesn't exist.
Well, all I'm saying is that the orphans are good to keep around, but Piper was horrible. We don't know Piper.
No, Piper.
So, to the best of our knowledge, there is no way that Sol Guerrero would know that Jed is Piper.
Yeah.
So, I think we're safe there.
Okay, cool.
And Dom says he has, through the family, put out information that Piper's travelling along one of the major hyperspace routes at the moment.
Oh,
It went out just before Sol disappeared from the sector.
That's good to know. So Sol seems to be chasing after this false lead. Which is somewhat reassuring.
But it did change his plans, so we managed to...
Yeah, so not just
We
thwarting
might
that.
need to use Piper as bait, is the issue.
That is a good question. Is it one we should answer? Well, she's not here.
Exactly.
That wouldn't be fair, right?
Would be something to definitely
Consider. You're looking at it like, how much game time do we have, and how much more trouble can we get into?
Exactly.
Considering B1's here now, probably a lot of trouble.
Absolutely.
Hey, I did nothing but get you out of trouble.
True. I will absolutely 100% give you that. Except when we're by ourselves in an orphanage about to explode, and I'm the one who sniped at all 4 droids.
Yeah, you see, if I was actually there, I wouldn't have blown up an orphanage. I would have just disarmed the bombs, you dumbass.
Fair point.
Did you even think to disarm it instead of blowing up an entire orphanage? But hey, thanks to the Army of Orphans, I appreciate it.
To be fair,
I
didn't have time.
I didn't really get that option, but yes, that would have been my preference. I would have preferred not to also be in the middle of the orphanage.
This is entirely in character. Well, it's not my fault you're a dumbass. It's like a you problem.
It is definitely a me problem. I'll take care of me, though.
I'm about to take care of you.
I don't want to
I'm not
know.
talking about medically.
The only thing I can think of right now is during the event, announcing on a separate day that Piper will be making an appearance of some kind.
Well, she could be making an appearance to present the car to the auction winner.
No, because I don't
they're
want the
expecting
event.
Piper there.
I don't want the event.
Target.
Well, after the event.
Remember, Piper's also wanted.
Yeah, that's true.
The Empire wants Piper
You know,
too.
what
Yeah.
we could do is potentially take a recording of Piper and use it and project it on a hologram, not to pretend that she's there, but to actually present
Yeah.
as like, hey, it's Piper.
Yeah.
We could do it at a separate sort of press event in reaction to
And then you can use that as a paper trail to create a false paper trail of, hey, somebody's actually recorded Piper. Piper's been in existence. And then they would follow that paper trail as another wild goose chase.
Yeah.
Red herring, if you will.
Yeah.
Because we need
I can
somebody
play
to
that.
present
That's
the auction
easy.
winner with the car.
Yeah. And with B1's idea, she doesn't actually have to be in any danger.
Is there any way we can do? How many days before the event?
You still got about 2 days.
Is there any way we can do this? What do you guys think? Should we do this before or after the event?
He's left the system, right?
As far as we know.
So we need time for him to get back if we put bait up.
Yeah.
So possibly after the event.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure about travel times or how far he's gone. He apparently left a week ago to go into a hyperspace, to follow a hyperspace, what did you call it, Martin?
Hyperspace route.
Route. Yeah, route. Yeah.
So he'll be elsewhere.
Yeah. So if we want to get him back,
Potentially still in the outer rim.
Potentially, or
Could
it's
be going
hard to tell. Wherever they've
hyperspace. Yeah.
wherever they've got the
I imagine-
lead heading, he may keep following.
imagine if we want him to come back here. But the question is if the clan, like Dom's, laid down this false trail to kind of get rid of him, do we actually want to bring him back?
Yes. Exactly.
Well,
becomes our issue.
if you can create a different scenario, what we can do is set up an entire recording, leave a holo projector somewhere, and then keep that connected to some sort of network so that we can trigger it remotely from somewhere else in case we need to create a distraction that's all we'll have to chase down.
Yeah, we should do that. How do we go about organising that?
I mean, give me 2.5 minutes and like 20 minutes with Jed.
Okay.
You mean you don't already have enough footage that you could just make one up?
Oh, no, I could, but it's just going to piss Jed off even more.
Besides, if you used previous footage, you can look like she did in the posters, whereas at the moment she has
She looks completely different.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, she thinks she looks completely different.
Oh, I can change that. That's fine.
We put a wig on her. Should we
Yeah, that's alright.
put a wig on her, do her makeup up. Should be good.
Yeah, yeah. It's not like she hasn't already done that before.
Yeah.
I say that's a good idea. We should do that. I'm guessing that with Jed not here though, is that something we can do in the background?
I would think
You
that's
can do it in the
something-
background.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the background plan for it.
So what are we doing right now then?
So now it's just waiting on Sandima to return about any information about the Imperial vehicle. That way we can at least get some of Solgar's hired hands taken care of. Just to make sure that we are actually shoring up any security risks for this event.
Well, considering that we've had our press conference interrupted, should we be getting B1 to be overseeing technical security for the actual event?
Absolutely. I think that would be best. It was, Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Because I think if the event is happening in 2 days, we need time to stop it from being intercepted again.
Mm-hmm.
That is very hard to do, considering
Is it?
yes, most of the Star Wars Rebels, for instance, has them able to interrupt transmissions and.
Okay. So this is not something that's easily preventable.
No.
Nope.
What about coming up with some sort of counter message if it happens again? Maybe the hollow stuff that B1's putting together should be Piper poking at Sol Guerrera, but not real Piper, like pretend Piper that B1 puts together. Yeah. Well, isn't that the best way to draw someone out and make them make mistakes is to make them very angry?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the best person to make other people angry would be B1. He really knows how to press those buttons.
So if B1 could put together some footage of Piper
Yeah.
saying,
Up your eyes.
Well, there's lots of recruitment footage.
Yeah. So does
I'm here to clean your resistance.
Yep. I'm gonna clean up after you, Sol
I
Guerrera.
want to clean up after you, Sol Guerrera. We want a safe and prosperous system.
Empire.
No, I'm trying to avoid any words of empire.
That's a good.
I'm mainly
that's a good
trying to working on
Our families are safer without you.
because like in understanding that the empire's impact here is only a couple years old. There are some other rebellion or maybe people who are on the fence who aren't the best about the empire. Kayana herself, she's not fully trusting of the empire, but she likes the law and order, and she appreciates how they operate, though she is not fully trusting of them. So she just wants to have the emphasis on terrorism not okay. We want safety in the sector, and health and safety of the citizens is of utmost importance.
So instead of saying the Empire wants you, she could say things like our families are safer without Sol Guerrera, and
Families are
safety first, family first.
Absolutely, that's the message.
That's very Mandalorian as well.
Exactly.
Well, not the safety first, but definitely the family first.
Okay, so while you're discussing that, you do get message back from San Diego. He has traced the Imperial transport to the public starport.
Nice.
At where it's been abandoned.
Right.
Where we are?
Roughly where you are.
Ooh.
And
right next door.
There have been at least 20 transports that have left since the vehicle arrived.
Okay. Yeah.
So whoever did it had plenty of time to hide their tracks if they've left the planet.
Yeah.
Very true, because this was a couple of days ago.
It was a couple of days ago.
Yep.
So
And the Imperials didn't even know it was here.
now that we have B1's help, can we do anything more in terms of tracking down some leads via computers?
Possibly, but I hadn't finished.
Oh, sorry.
And he does say that there's evidence that the transport had been hijacked, and that the previous people who had checked it out had been killed.
Ooh.
So they had taken it after it left the garrison, so it wasn't reported missing because it was supposed to be transporting to one of the other cities on Elrood, and wasn't expected to arrive for another day or two. And all the contents of the vehicle have disappeared.
Of course.
It was basically supplies for the an Imperial training exercise.
Okay. So
It had explosives, weapons, and armor.
So likely what?
So everything they would need to dress up, and maybe more,
And creative device.
Yep. not just create the bombs, but they could have extra stuff with
Yeah,
them
they have extra stuff
to
with them,
continue
too.
to be impersonating Imperials. We should probably be letting someone in Imperial world know about that.
It's not finished.
Oh, sorry. You just shook it, so I presumed that it might be.
Okay, so yes, that's what he says about that. Then you get a word back from Dom saying he's meeting with the matron now.
Okay.
He'll let you know how it turns out.
Okay, cool.
And you get preliminary findings from the orphanage saying that the site is considered structurally not sound, and that it might take a week of shoring up before they can go in and look at the evidence. But they have sealed off the area from the elements.
Yep.
And it will hopefully give them a chance to get in safely without destroying anything.
Okay. I'm just writing everything down. Khalid, does he have any ideas of what to do from here now that we have this information?
Is there any footage of the shuttle actually landing and anyone entering or leaving it?
The Imperial transport. It wasn't a shuttle. It was basically like a hover truck.
Oh, okay.
With Imperial markings, which was why it was left in a parking area, and no one really paid attention to it.
Fair enough.
And they were trying to do a covert training exercise, so they didn't actually advertise that things had gone wrong.
Mm-hmm. A second there, I thought you said COVID rather than covert.
I know, right?
Yes, they're coughing up all strange things here and there.
Oh, really? Yeah, needed that. That was great description.
I guess, could we go to the parking lot of the Starport and try to search for any evidence?
Can we get a copy of the identity sketch of the guy with the greasy mustache and that?
We could also,
because I'm curious,
against people who've left.
I'm curious if we may find a theater mustache on the ground near this transport.
That'd be too good to be true, because that would mean that guy really didn't have an awful mustache. And if there's no sign of it, then that means he really does.
I don't know which one I want to be true.
Exactly.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is maybe getting our fingerprints a thing.
Yeah, it is. You can have a look, and they're also doing DNA scans and all that sort of stuff.
Okay. So
and as they rock up to look at the stuff, you see that the place the vehicle itself looks trashed.
Of course it does. Okay.
The doors have been broken open. Some of the parts have been removed. You believe Jawas have gotten to it while it's been in the parking spot.
God, wouldn't it be funny if it was eBay or we actually got more DNA or something eBay?
Yeah, so
and a lot of the internal compartments have been pulled apart. There's still blaster damage from when they killed the occupants.
Yeah. Okay.
But everything here looks stripped, so they could have had all the parts in here when it was showed up. But
impossible to say now.
It's unknown if they were unloaded beforehand or after.
Yep.
or if whoever stripped the vehicle did so.
Took all the parts too. Yeah.
But the transponder had been turned off after leaving the garrison as part of their security.
Makes sense.
And it was hijacked after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's no record of when it happened.
Yep.
But they were able to pick up the markings from the video, which led you to here.
Yep.
And it was where it wasn't supposed to be.
Yep, makes sense. Alrighty. Probably no further useful information that we can get from this, so...
But they are going to look into it and start investigating this anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah, look into it, start investigating, put out the wanted posters with the,
Sleazy mustache guy.
Sleazy mustache guy.
Calls start coming in about sleazy mustache guys all over the planet.
Not all humans look the same.
Mostly everyone's dubbing in the local Imperial recruiters.
Yeah.
Because most of them has sleazy mustaches.
Totally makes sense, honestly. Okay.
Why else would you wear one? It makes you all look the same.
Okay. Ooh, pardon me.
So yes, you do have all these hits.
Any of them sound reasonable?
Let's see. We can have your droid do a check over it.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of
I would
calls
say,
coming in with various stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so nothing rings a bell to you as you're going through all the various stuff. It all strikes you as misleading information. Most people see the mustache and not the person.
Interesting. That's funny that it rolled exactly that.
Yeah, it came out as a 0 dice result.
Exactly. So yeah, we got the first version comes up. Yeah, I can't really think of anything further to go from here. It seems like the investigation definitely came to a standstill. Best we can do is guarantee that asking Lieutenant Sandimo, how can we verify that all stormtroopers' identities are accurate without offending the Empire?
You leave a message for him because he's currently off chasing something else.
Makes sense. Okay. Because I do think...
Asking Sandimo something.
Do you need any food?
I probably will soon.
I do think with these... with the stuff that has gone missing from the vehicle, it's very possible that someone may try to impersonate an Imperial official of some kind. And I want to make sure that I'm very clear. All IDs are checked if they are not with the Sector Rangers. So that includes Imperial, even though they're military and not in my jurisdiction. This falls in my jurisdiction. Thus,
so you're going to make sure everyone is checked.
Everybody is checked.
You can even check your recruits just to make sure that no one's impersonating them, because it is possible to appear as someone else.
Them sleazy mustaches. It makes everybody look the same.
Just tell B1
Yeah.
to look out for sleazy mustaches, and he'll have them shaved head to foot.
Yeah, they'll be hairless.
Then the Wookiee in the group is like, yes, we've got the first hairless Wookiee.
Oh no.
Okay, so yes, you do get that put out there. Next morning you get a message from Sandimo saying he has put in a requisition for all the IDs of the equipment that went missing.
Yep.
So he can verify that if anything shows up in any other scans, it's automatically flagged as stolen property.
Yep.
Equipment, armor, weapons especially.
Yep.
And that any of the stormtroopers should have a ID that matches the system.
Yep.
So scan the person and their ID will match it.
Yep, perfect.
If they don't match, then they're obviously impersonating an Imperial stormtrooper.
Yeah, which is very much I'm sure a very bad offense for the Empire, I would say.
Well,
Imprisonable, potentially death.
Well, it is. He suggests that anyone impersonating a stormtrooper might find themselves in stormtrooper training.
That's true. Alrighty.
So if they really want to be a stormtrooper that much, they will learn what it means to be a stormtrooper.
I don't know, I think it would be more fun to stick them in training with B1.
I think they would prefer the Imperial training.
Depends on how good their reflexes are and how big the wrench is.
Very true, very true. Alrighty.
So he also reports in that he is close to finding out where the money's gone for the farms that have been bought up and businesses.
Yep. So what was that, Ross?
He said that's
I was
good.
saying that's good.
And he hopes to get that to you before the auction.
Yep.
But he might be offline for a while chasing that.
Yep.
As there's a few people not happy with his investigation.
Who's not happy with his investigation?
He doesn't know. He just knows that there are a few people not happy with his investigation.
Should we be giving Sandemo, I gather this is Sandemo,
Mm-hmm.
should we be giving Sandemo some kind of security or protection?
So do unless you request
He's a
it.
bureaucrat.
Though he has also put in a unofficial thugs have been found dead in an alleyway report of accidental shooting of people trying to kill him.
No. Accidental.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he doesn't suggest pulling out knives and someone carrying a blaster.
Maybe he's not the bureaucrat we thought he was.
He's a lieutenant, meaning he's actually had combat training.
He does present himself as very bookish.
I would feel like you guys saw the revenue accountant.
He prefers dealing with numbers and facts over fighting, but he's probably had to deal with a lot of bullies in his time.
Yeah, Kayana has a platonic crush on Sandino.
Mm-hmm. Don't we all?
Yes. Sandino operates exactly how Kayana thinks the world should work.
And so I accidentally shot them a couple of times while...
Which Kayana likes following the rules. And should she need to correct people, she would do so with her might.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why he was saying, someone doesn't want him to look into things because he got jumped.
Sounds like Sandino's
On the right
story,
track.
honestly. Sounds Sandino all the time.
Mm.
Poor guy. Honestly, I would watch next Disney Plus TV series, Lieutenant Sandino.
Bureaucrat, militia person.
What put in was it the Columbo guy as Lieutenant Sandino,
Yes.
and I'm sure it would work quite well.
Absolutely, that would work so well.
Peter Falk would be perfect, wouldn't he?
As you see this Imperial guy go, just one more thing.
Question. Yep.
Yeah, love it. He'd be so good at that.
So are we up to new mischief then, or
Cool. The best
dealing with old mischief?
best we can do is just wait for the event to occur.
Mm-hmm.
And await for any further pings.
So is the event still 2 days away, or?
The event is about a day away now because it's
Mm-hmm.
because Hambino got to you the next day.
Yep.
And so he's busy off doing stuff. Dom gets back to you at this point saying he's arranged for all the orphans to leave planet with him.
Oh, nice.
Yay! All
And even the matron's coming.
Oh, wow.
beautiful.
He says, well, she needed a place to stay after losing her house.
This
Absolutely.
is a happier ending than I expected.
Absolutely.
And
Cool.
so whether or not they join the family remains to be seen, but that's
will be
completely up to them.
Off.
They're going to look after them because you basically asked.
They'll be safer.
And being on another planet means less likely to be attacked by someone like Sol, especially with a group of Quainites who have sponsored them to be taken to their planet.
Yep, absolutely.
So
they'll be protected.
the transit papers are all listed as the Quainite ambassador has asked to look after them.
Perfect. Awesome. So
Does this mean
the
though,
purpose of the fundraiser from here will to create a new orphanage? There's always going to be orphans, no matter what.
So I was going to say, do we need to hire orphans now to play orphans at our orphan auction so that we can actually have
auction? No, we're not auctioning the orphans. Word choice.
I'm just going to put that down to beautiful word choice based on lack of sleeves.
Yes.
So here we have a 12-year-old.
Oh god.
I think you might have given B1 an idea. So he's going to make some orphans and then auction them off.
No, not at this auction. I mean, like, I presume we've got sufficient footage, but would we need the actual orphans, or I don't know, we could always dress a bunch of Jawa up and play some dance music. Oh dear. I should get more sleep.
In most of these fundraising events for people with disadvantage, you generally do not see the people with disadvantage there.
That's fine. As long
It's
as
usually
we don't
people
need-
in fancy gowns, way too much expensive food, and people clapping each other on the backs for being good people one day out of the year.
Yeah.
Or basically
No,
they're giving
for
to
2
a cause
hours
that they're
out
not
of the
actually seeing the cause, interacting with the cause, or dealing with the cause. They're just giving money away.
Exactly.
Some people want to do that. Makes them feel like they're good people.
Exactly.
And that is what a lot of socialite encounters are like. So when they do their circuit of fundraising events.
Does this mean technically we don't really care if any of these people die?
We care if the people die because they are still members of the public.
Yeah, that's true.
And plus they'll most likely sponsor the next thing you need money for.
Exactly. Plus, likely our friend the Debronian may be there as well.
yes.
So we like him. We want to keep him around because he's very helpful to us. Though he
So
never
I'm trying not to be too anti-people. But,
Exactly.
you know, it comes out occasionally no matter how much I squish that shit down.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I like humans. Sure, I like humans. The ones I know.
Purpose of the fundraiser will be to create a new, well-built,
State of the art.
state-of-the-art orphanage center, along with a healthy stipend for a new director of the orphanage, or
I would suggest
new
that
positions within the orphanage to help take care of the children of Elrood.
I think we're being too direct by calling it an orphanage. We should call it
I know.
the state-of-the-art Centre for Youth Development. There's no orphans mentioned. It's nothing yucky like that. They don't have to deal with the actual urchins involved.
The Urchin Center.
Sorry. I'm not sitting in the mind of rich people right now.
So it'll no longer be Elrood Orphanage. It is now Elrood Center for Youth Development.
Yes.
AKA a recruitment for the Empire.
Possibly, but hopefully not.
That is up for the government to decide.
Yes. We can only do so much.
Though you do think that calling it a family redistribution center would probably also work.
I feel like that's a little. A little on the nose.
There's a part of me that really likes that, but there's another part of me that realises that that's kind of as bad as saying that we're having an orphan auction, when I actually mean an auction to benefit orphans.
Orphan benefit auction.
Yeah.
Orphan, come get your orphans. Going once, going twice, sold.
Yeah.
Only one previous owner.
Oh, wouldn't it be bad if you're like, you really need to help these orphans out, they've got like 5 previous owners.
Oh no. This one keeps getting returned.
This whole waif
Oh goodness.
will probably murder you in your sleep, which is why there's 5 previous owners.
Okay.
Sorry, that went dark.
It did.
Very dark. It was really funny though.
And I can see B1 going, I want that one.
That one has skills I can build on.
That one's nimble. He can get into the small places.
Well, the problem is, it wouldn't be half as funny if it wasn't true.
I know, right?
Okay, so you do get some footage from Dom that he's happy to have you take to help you with your auction
Promotion.
and promotional stuff before he gets everyone off planet and to a happier spot.
Did we end up interviewing the squib? Did you still want to interview the squib? Do you think there's any point at this stage?
I don't think so. What do you guys think? I don't see much benefit.
I don't, unless the GM pulls out something really surprising. I expect not. One of us or 2 of us could go there while the other 2 got up to other mischief.
Or something. Carla, any ideas?
No, not really.
Okay. I think maybe that's one we can look
I
at.
might just briefly check in on the squib, make sure that he's still
Okay.
using both feet.
Hey man, how you walking?
Yeah.
You do remember that squids are very chattable.
Very what?
They like to talk.
Yes.
They love to
do
talk.
they? Oh,
Okay.
I could be in for some trouble here. It depends on how the GM's
So
feeling.
you show up to the hospital to check up on the squib who's still in there. You see the squib in a room with multiple people with cameras. His foot in a boot. Apparently he can't walk on it for a while. And him just chatting away a mile a minute to the news reporters about how scared he was, how he really was the savior of everything, and he was so brave.
My saving him comes nothing in to do with it, I'm guessing.
He lost a foot in the process, and luckily one of the emergency responders found it.
Yeah, no, I don't even exist. There's a part of me who's really tempted to grab this squid by the ear and
I mean, you could
He was
interrupt
was unconscious the entire time you were there.
Yeah.
So
I could interrupt and say, I'm the person who pulled you out of the rubble and made sure that your foot got reattached. I just wanted to see if you're okay.
You can totally do that. You can be very passive aggressive and interrupt.
Absolutely. I think I'm going to go for passive aggressive under these
Do it.
circumstances.
okay, so you walk in on the cameras and do that?
Yep.
And the cameras go, oh look, it's there! And there's a chair.
Oh, really?
Yeah, remember you're popular.
Yeah, okay.
Do you have
I
any...
did forget that part.
Yeah, because you're the one who threw the gauntlet at.
Oh god, yeah, I did that too. These things, look, this is where a bad memory actually does not help.
And they're all ignoring the squib right now as they're looking at you with the cameras going, do you have anything more to add to your threat to this Sol Guerrera?
No. I only wanted to actually come in and check that. I'm not going to say that Jesse's back on his feet. I'm going to think it though, but I am not saying it.
One of them says, I'm sure he'll limp along.
I just want to make sure that he's got everything that he needs. Obviously, he's well attended. And children and, innocent bystanders like this should not be sacrificed in order to make a political statement. And I believe that one of the things the Sector Rangers stand for is protecting people like this. From people like Sol Guerrero.
And you basically see the squid tear up a bit at the whole... Of course, the cameras pan back to him, tearing up about it all.
I'm happy for him to have the attention. I just wanted to make sure he knew that it wasn't just him. And if I can, I also make sure that my teammates, I give credit. The fact that my whole team helped me get out of that orphanage and that. Teams are like family. And we should all take care of each other. Just like family.
Okay, so yes, you do
Do
have...
I come across as Mandalorian at all?
Probably a little...
Alright, if I can escape, then I will escape.
And by the time you walk out of the room, the other two see the footage of you in the hospital.
Which other two?
Kayana and Khalid.
Yep. Well, I've made sure that my team is acknowledged for all their help. And not just Kayana and Khalid, but also... I won't mention Jed, but I'll mention there's an actual team.
And as you see the footage of Thea up there, they see the Go Catch Me is up there with all the details of where to send there.
You get those Jedi robes with like the hood and shit?
We have to ask the rebels.
Yeah. Except they might mistake me
Well,
for Sol Guerrero.
we might need to go to the market. I see they have those things for sale all over the place. Maybe not the Jedi style, but they do have robes and stuff.
Yeah, well, the reason why the Jedi robes work so well is they just look like robes.
Exactly.
If they looked like something spectacular that stood out as saying just Jedi, then they would be targets wherever they went.
Exactly.
No, it's when they flip the robe off and you can see the lightsaber hanging off the belt.
The lightsaber
That's
is
when you know
the
you're in
badge of
trouble.
office.
Yep.
Or that your day is saved.
Okay, well, I'm just going to quickly duck to the bathroom where you consider what you want to do next.
Well, do we want to get up to any shenanigans before the auction, or do we just want to make sure everything's tied down?
I think we just want to make sure everything's tied down and checked.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
So probably, I know we can't fully prevent someone interrupting the auction. Make sure that B1's got, our retaliation footage ready, and just make sure that everybody who's coming in through those doors is being checked and double checked, I guess. And we've got cameras everywhere so that we can get footage of what we can't necessarily see. What are the other types of things we would do for security? Scanning, I guess.
Yeah, scanning, check people for weapons and things like that.
Yeah.
How we would also have our recruits on that, and possibly would it just be our recruits and us, or would we have some Imperial approved security extra hands?
We did have some stormtroopers
We did,
during
we
the
did.
press conference. Likely
Yes.
they would be also helping out
Yep.
during this, and so that's why I was making sure
We're
that
not
we,
doing
that we
names.
organize that we verify all of the stormtroopers' IDs as well as we share internally and with the Empire that there may be imposters with Imperial clothing, and so thusly all IDs need to be checked.
Yeah,
So.
and double checked. What about people doing bribes and things like that? How do you protect against that? Just hope for the best.
Honestly, yeah.
Well, because bribery can be considered as illegal if caught.
Yes, but I'm pretty sure a lot of what I've read about bureaucracy in the Empire is it's about hating other sections and wanting to one-up each other versus extreme corruption, as in everything's prone to a bribe. Based on some of the stuff I've read in your blog, they can get pretty aggressive towards each other.
They can, though less so under Thrawn than others.
Oh, okay. Alright. So we're kind of assured. I gather, has Thrawn
Thrawn's still in the sector.
made any contact with us regarding all these things that have gone on?
Right, he had signed this to you while he was busy elsewhere.
Okay, alright.
Because he asked you to look into this.
Yep.
I was gonna say last we knew he was on his ship outside of Cologne.
Coin. The Chimera.
The Chimera wasn't parked outside of Coin. One of the others.
One of the other ones was, and then.
And you know the reason why it's parked next to Coin is if it wasn't, the Coinites have a habit of getting a little get your nose out of our business sort of.
Yeah, they don't like other people looking into what they're up to.
But with the Star Destroyer parked in orbit over their planet, they've been saying Empire is fine.
We love the Empire. They make things more streamlined. All right. Let's get to it then.
Okay, so the day of the auction rocks up, and Sandemo does get back to Khalid.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so he's made a few mistakes, but he's managed to track down where some of the money went off to.
Oh, that's
And he believes that an Imperial organization known as Crimson Dawn has infiltrated parts of the governor's office in competition with Black Sun, another criminal organization.
Great.
all these people like to.
We know that,
themselves
what was it?
after,
Was it Crimson Dawn the one that pinched the TIE fighters?
I think it was.
It was actually a different organization that had called themselves Black Sun at the time.
Oh, Black Sun. Okay. There's so many suns though. Or sun type events.
Yeah.
Like sunrise, dawn,
But
moonshine.
he does say that Black Sun is the top tier criminal organization. Every other organization generally serves them or dies.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone who's trying to interfere into their politics, no matter how big or how small, generally doesn't survive it. Even the Hutts will walk away if told by Black Sun.
I have to say, that's impressive. And a
th-
bit scary.
It's believed that in the dossier he's read that Jabba the Hutt himself works for Black Sun.
Okay.
And he is the top tier of the Hutt Empire at the moment, operating out of Tatooine. Because he has an interest in criminal organisations, because that's his main job.
Yes.
I know we've probably asked this before, but and I don't want to go too far off into this direction, but whereabouts in the timeline are we?
You are 7 years before the events of A New Hope.
Okay, yep. Good to
So
know.
that means 2 years before the events of Rebels start.
Yep. Rebels being the series.
The Rebels
Yes.
being the series.
Yep.
Because because it's about that time that it kicks off, and
I know it's not exact, but yeah.
and that means you're about 6 years from the events of Rogue One.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm one with the Force.
The Force is
one
with
was
you.
The Force is with me.
Yeah. No, that's the Piper, right?
If Piper shows back up again.
Yeah. Alright, have we lost B1 altogether, or?
I believe he's out of reception again.
Oh.
Yep.
He's dropped in and out.
He is the life of the party.
Okay, so yes, so he does say that he believes it's a power play by the two of them, and that the reason the senator from the senator's aide from Alderaan was eliminated was because they were digging into the corruption relating to the orphanages and the food distribution.
Oh, sorry. I've mixed up which Tuesday we're at. I'm playing the game! I'm like, wrong game. Sorry.
So yes, you do hear from him that it's most likely all dealing with trying to stop whatever Thrawn's trying to do in Sector.
Okay.
As Thrawn competes for the Emperor's ear with each of the various politics that are happening right now.
Makes sense.
There is another project that appears to be getting more support than Thrawn's Defender upgrade to Imperial fighters.
I wonder what that project is.
There are many projects.
Exactly.
So they have heard of something called Dark Trooper.
Alright. Cool.
They don't know what that means, but they have heard of it.
Yeah, so there's lots of things happening. Cool.
He says there are many projects happening at the same time. He doesn't get it. He doesn't hear all of it, but he tries to find out stuff without getting himself labelled a spy or espionage.
Right. Yeah.
Very hard to do so, he says, in a place that doesn't like talking.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine that'd be very, very difficult. So he has to definitely tread lightly.
Yep.
Cool.
So he believes it is basically a turf war happening. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to undermine the Black Sun, trying to control Elrood.
Yeah, makes sense.
Sorry, I know I've missed important information, so I'm just trying to pick up where I left off.
And to be honest, he doesn't know if it's a bad thing trying to undermine him, because criminal organizations generally don't care about the people.
Yeah.
That's about true. The bottom line.
Yeah.
And everything he's read about either of these organizations, they would rather eliminate the opposition than deal with them. So you get in their way, they try to kill you. Which probably explain why he's had more than one attempt on his life in the last week.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah,
wow.
The only drawback is there normally is a lot of collateral damage when they actually do target each other.
They're not targeting each other, that's the problem. They're targeting the assets the other people are after.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So they haven't started a war of aggression, but they have a turf war happening. And the turf war is basically they will target what the other person wants or is using without targeting them.
Yeah.
So as the governor himself seems to be under the sway of Black Sun, they've been targeting the governor and his staff. But he's also been a big supporter of bringing the Empire to Elrood. And because of that, he says that's the reason he believes he was targeted by Sol, because he had invited the Empire in long before they arrived.
So does that mean that the Crimson may be backing Sol at the moment?
He says possibly, but most of the criminal organizations will not condone flashy displays of power and naming themselves, because that's how most of them get crushed. You will not see any footage in any media outlet on any public bulletin boards that has the name Crimson Dawn or Black Sun attached to it.
Okay.
Oh no, I meant like it'd probably be not public, but maybe privately, because since he's such an annoyance and he's targeting the Empire and
they want to take over the operation. They don't want to destroy it. So there is no profit in destroying an operation completely. And if they're going to all the effort of coming out here, they would have blown up the mansion instead of try to take over the governor's palace. If that's all they wanted to do, they could have done that from orbit, and no one would have had a chance to stop them.
Well,
in other words, they're going to probably give him an offer he can't refuse.
Yeah.
Yes, that's normally how a lot of the criminal organizations work. Now, Sol rarely goes after the moths or the governors.
Yeah.
Because, to be honest, if they disappeared, no one's really going to notice.
Moth or Sol?
No, the moth or the moth or the governor, because one imperial moth or one imperial governor looks the same to a lot of other people.
Some moths would disagree, but
he's saying that unofficially, because as far as he's concerned, they could pretty much be a template. Stab! And they all look and act very much the same. Yay, imperial, bad everyone else.
Yeah. Or, yay, I get to hide my sadistic, power, ambitious, power-hungry goals underneath the guise of the Empire. Yay, Empire.
Yep. And so he finishes off with his report to Cardi. Yeah.
Yep.
So getting words hard.
Yep.
Saying that he can't prove beyond a doubt that it is Crimson Dawn who took the money or Black Sun who took the money, but whoever took the money is undermining the Imperial regime here. And it was done in such a way that it implicates both and neither at the same time.
Very interesting.
So the governor himself and his aide, who's clearly in the pockets of the XTS corporation.
Yeah. They're super powerful though, aren't they?
They're the ones who have a lot of clout on Coruscant, being the leading supplier of materials for a public company. And he doesn't know which way the aid goes. But he is worried about what influence the aide has over the governor, because the governor pretty much does anything the aide suggests.
Yeah.
Because this governor, he's still the commandant's son.
He's still the commandant's son, but he seems
He was kind of convinced to let the Empire in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's been spouting pro-imperial propaganda for a couple of years before the Empire showed up, but the aide was there at the time. So they think the aide had been laying the groundwork.
So as long as the aide has been there, yeah.
And so the the aide from Alderaan arrived not long before he was killed off. And he was starting to investigate things on the side. Apparently he had Senate approval for the investigation.
Does this mean that San Diemo's investigations will start going through the Senate then? Or?
He says no, because if the Senate knew he'd been looking into it, he will have exceeded his authority again.
Right.
If you look into it, you may exceed your authority because you're not authorized senatorial representatives.
No, but we
Player
were...
question. The Senate still exists?
Yeah. It exists for another 17 years, because during the middle of A New Hope is when the Senate was abolished.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I actually have never seen episode 4, 5, 6. So
Yeah. Oh, that's
because I generally get the gist.
I don't know, you're missing out on something.
They may actually be redoing some of it.
Oh, dear.
There are rumours that they're reshooting either 4, 5, and 6, or 7, 8, and 9, or reshooting parts of them.
It depends on who you
7,
talk
8,
to
9.
about what you're missing out on.
Both, actually.
Honestly.
That's the rumours.
We'll see, I guess.
So, I'm trying to remember, who were we were undertaking these investigations on behalf of Thrawn?
Thrawn was looking into the terrorism.
Right.
And anything relating to subversiveness of the Empire, which this does fall under.
Okay.
But being careful not to step on any senatorial investigations is
So
important.
he would still want this information, but we wouldn't report it officially.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That gets to be your fun, unless you want to send B1 to do it, because, I think B1's a bit of a Thrawn fangirl.
And we have B1 back.
Oh, do you? In which case I'm in trouble, because you probably heard me call him a fangirl. Boy?
B1 has no gender, you fleshy nitsack.
Okay,
Fandroid.
Fandroid, yes.
Android. A fan. So I gather now that we've had this report, we do need to send it towards the appropriate authorities.
He does recommend not sending it through channels.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean through channels. I meant as I said,
not sending it at all, is reporting in person only.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I meant as in, that's what I said before, was I gather that even though this is a part of what we're doing for Thrawn, this would not go through official channels.
Yeah, it shouldn't be logged
But
anywhere.
we should be going to Thrawn at some point. We being probably Kayana being the senior sector ranger. You can take Carlin.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay home and practice my dueling. I think that's where I should be.
Okay.
Okay, so the auction is only a couple of hours away.
Okay.
You get a notification at this stage that Captain Dom has arrived at Coin, and the kids are all getting looked after, fresh clothing, fresh food, more than 5 or 6 Coinites per person looking after them.
Yeah.
Because, hey, these were orphans and they were attacked by someone they absolutely hate.
Kids should get that kind of attention.
So they're basically being treated as honoured guests by the Coinites.
Perfect.
And he would really like to see someone try to get to them at this point in time, because no one but Coinites seem to be able to get anywhere within a mile of these guys right now.
This is really good news.
So the family has, got them looked after at the moment.
Alrighty.
Perfect.
I guess we're in final preps.
Yep, so final preparations, just verifying all IDs, and I am making sure our recruits are actually doing a good job about this by doing roving security checks before going off and doing the "oh yes, welcome, good to see you here," blah 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 blah, that kind of nonsense.
And Sandimo does get back to you about an hour before the event, saying he's got a list of what equipment had been taken. And he says that it was Imperial Army gear. So not something that you should be seeing at the location, or but it would explain the person dressed up as an Imperial Army at the orphanage. As most Imperials are clean shaven, wearing a mustache definitely was out of character for the person.
So it must be a real mustache, because you'd want to keep that mustache, which is why you'd wear it if people are normally clean shaven.
I am keeping a special eye out for any mustachio men.
And
He makes you roll for that. That'll be awfully funny.
Eddie, make sure you've all got the IDs of all that stuff right on the system. The Imperials have flagged it as stolen properties, and if it comes anywhere within one of their scanners of their stormtroopers, they will basically...
I presume all of their property, like even socks, would probably have an ID.
Yeah.
I wish my socks had an ID. Oh, not fun.
They can just look at what Sheldon did on the Big Bang. He put ID tags and everything.
I could do this.
And then you go, where's my stuff? And everything says it's in the closet.
To be honest, I like buying stuff, so buying more socks doesn't actually bother me.
And they might not wash so well.
Probably not.
So you have a big event planned with a all-star cast of locals coming to see the auction, participate, and play the various games.
Yeah, the cars there. Yeah.
The car has been put together. It all looks nice and shiny, even better than when it went. It looks shinier than when it was last driven.
Fair enough. Huh?
He didn't insult me.
He didn't get yeah, it's because he didn't get to get his microphone quick enough.
Best reason ever.
And I just have images of B1 being patted on the head going, good B1, good B1, and B1 going, I want to kill you.
Oh no. My side is killing me, but it's funny.
At some point, you will need medical care. That's all he knows.
At the point where they basically have a bit of a stutter and go BB1, I'm sure that's when the...
Oh yeah, that's when personalities start to switch again. I don't care if they've been amalgamated.
Oh no.
That's funny.
I might die before the end of tonight.
And how did you die?
Yes, you might.
I had a stutter. It was just an unfortunate stutter. How can a stutter kill you? Well...
Were you trying to say B1?
To be very clear.
Yes.
Sorry about the noise.
All good.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay, so we'll start the event. Looking out for any anomalies.
When the event starts, you see that there are a couple of TIE fighters patrolling the airspace above the thing.
Okay.
They have been assigned to stop anything that's not supposed to be there from getting there. There are a couple in orbit above the planet itself. The Chimera itself is supposed to be in orbit above.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
As you have made the must-do event happen.
Okay.
And so a few people have arranged to help support the event and stop terrorism from happening. The "we will not bow to terror" thing is basically changed here to "we will shoot the terrorists on sight."
Not that I entirely disagree with this thing, but not quite what I was going for. But still, all good.
Yeah, why am I getting some George Bush vibes?
That's exactly what has happened here, I believe.
Because of the mustache?
We're going to chase terror.
We're gonna get them terrorists.
No, it's because you got George Bush in the speech.
Yeah, I went real George Bush thing.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice.
Shame on me.
Well, you ain't gonna shame me.
Oh, God.
Fool me twice, I drop a nuke on you.
That's perfect.
So, during the opening of the gala, you see that you have Thrawn is actually coming with a group of what looks to be guardsmen, though not in Imperial garb.
Okay.
He has assigned some of his own security to assist you where needed.
Oh, this is
The scary guys.
They are grey skinned. They do look as if they're full of muscle, and they are all carrying what look to be swords over their backs.
swords.
Yeah,
What kind of swords?
probably vibro swords, but
Okay. Well, I was just curious to see whether or not they're
they don't look
particular
Mandalorian.
culture or
They look
just swords.
In the way that he's blue, they look grey.
yeah. And they are basically sniffing everyone.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. He wants to play for the dragons, that's all.
Okay. Like a blue shiny. Yeah. Exactly, buddy.
And
Carry
you,
on says hi to Thrawn and tries to upload the Meow virus.
unlike many others, Thrawn doesn't click here.
God knows not to do.
Yeah.
And you basically see them supplementing your troops, and
Does Thrawn actually say that? And does he say that to be one? Ow.
No, I will not click here.
I'm hurting myself now.
Oh, goodness.
It's still not
Hello.
fun.
That's funny.
You know, all he knows is that everyone's giving him attention and he's so happy now.
He's like, this is great.
Yeah.
well, he stops in front of me and holds his tail up because he wants me to pull his tail.
Yeah.
So pull my tail, pull my tail.
So I guess I will approach Thrawn, do typical whatever is appropriate for a second ranger to meet with an admiral.
Is he an admiral?
He's still
An
an
admiral currently. So whatever is appropriate there, because it's not military thing. So just showing proper respect.
He gestures for you to come off to the side while everyone else is busy doing stuff. Means
Yes, you're that special. Whenever that is no confidence.
Don't know if I want to be the special.
You keep saying you've got no confidence. This should reassure you that you do your job well.
Okay, so yeah, I go off to the side with Thrawn.
this. Do you have anything to report? He says.
I will report that we've come to some findings with the help of an email about the thing with the governor's aides. It seems to be that Crimson Dawn was involved in this, and it seems to be a turf war with Black Sun.
What do you recommend we do for the governor's aid?
I...
Leaving you a moment?
I'm trying to think of what Kayana would actually say.
Shoot them all! No, sorry.
I don't think Kayana would say that either.
Kayana would say that he would need to be kindly let go.
Martin, you appear to be mixing Kayana's lines with B1's lines.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Kayana would say that it would be in the best interest for both the governor and the safety of Elrood that new staff were promoted, and that the current aide would be kindly let go alive. Emphasize alive. That he would be best be sent on his way, and that he has done his duties, but is no longer suited to the role. However, that can occur.
He has been a staunch supporter of the Empire, the governor's aide.
Yeah, in that I agree there. He has been a great supporter of the Empire, but I feel he has served his purpose, and that it would be time for him to explore other opportunities.
So you're suggesting early retirement for him then?
Maybe not necessarily early retirement, maybe just a different position.
You sure he could arrange a different position for him?
Different position where he's alive.
He sort of pauses for a moment and goes, "Not always possible, but he will see."
Yeah.
Not everyone takes suggestions to heart.
Just as maybe his other connections may prove fruitful.
Though it may also prove to be a good way of finding out who is actually sponsoring.
Yes.
Gaslight, just for your information, Thrawn is brutally efficient and ruthless, but he also is the kind of person who rewards loyalty and success as well.
Yes.
So he's not the kind of guy to just go around and kill someone for the hell of it.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good.
As long as there's advantage to him, us, and or the Empire, then yeah.
You would definitely approve of you thinking on your own and being your own person while also being loyal.
Yeah.
He also says that he has arranged a light show for the end of your auction.
Nice.
Okay.
And you'll have less problems after the light show. He says as he walks off.
What does that mean? That's what Kayana's doing.
I'm not there, so I'm not worried.
So,
Pretty sure he's talking about a public execution.
That's what I mean. She will.
David did say efficient.
He did. So I will report this back to my comrades in hushed tones, so other ears may not hear.
As you're reporting that, you can hear the thump of something big coming down the road.
Oh.
Okay.
Like an AT-AT type thump?
Yep.
Okay. How the hell did I pick that?
Execution by AT-AT? That's amazing.
Wait, yeah, actually. But it also means that I want to stand well away from other people right now because I'm in my officer's uniform and I don't want to have to clean that shit.
I was going to say, are those like brand new now?
They are fairly new. He's gotten his hands on a whole bunch of new stuff.
That's pretty awesome though.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, I'm just writing all this down, sorry.
No, that's okay. I appreciate that you write that down because my hand gave out about an hour ago. Well, at least it's numb rather than hurting, so that's actually the better option out of my two choices. Cool.
And so the whole festivities go ahead without a hitch.
Yep.
You see that there is an exceedingly large Imperial presence in Elrood at the moment that even a Mandalorian strike team would have trouble getting here.
I'll just see if I can run a virus checker on the virus.
Unfortunately, I'm sure many Imperials clicked here first. And the fundraising was apparently a success. You have managed to get enough funds to start up your new Elrood Sector for Youth Development
Perfect.
and Reappropriation.
Was that reappropriation or re-education?
Reappropriation.
Reappropriations, like getting them into different families.
Or indoctrinating them into the Imperial beliefs.
Yeah.
Because it will be the Imperial Elrood Sector.
You know all those teenagers that nobody wants to adopt? Well, when they age out, guess what? We got the best position for you. Free meals, great training, great opportunities.
Oh, they start training them when they're
Did somebody say new position in the cult?
Thrawn wants to join your cult.
Are you kidding? Thrawn could lead the cult. But you want to gladly hand it over.
And at the end of the auction, there is a special broadcast from the Imperial ISB network, the Imperial Security Bureau, as they are saying they have identified a number of terrorists associated to Saul hiding on, locating on Elrood City. As you see the skies around you light up with lasers from above, as you see a wing of TIE bombers fly through, fairly new fighters that have just showing their precise striking as they take out various tenements across Elrood City without harming anyone else.
That's really big.
Showing military strike precision and the identification of all the stolen hardware that had disappeared from the vehicle you found.
What's terrifying about this is that, like, that's the United States.
I know, I'm just basically stealing it completely.
Absolutely.
You ruined it all.
No, I think that's more of probably the English. Because remember that...
That's true.
And so yes, you basically see a fireworks and explosions in all over the city as precision strikes take out Saul's team on Elrood. And there is it shows pictures of the various people. Included there is also the governor's aide.
Wow, if B1 had a conscience, he wouldn't be very happy about this.
As showing that the governor's aide had been instrumental in getting Saul's team onto the planet and had arranged the original bombing of the station that was putting out conflicting propaganda to what he wanted.
I mean, like...
So
what you're telling me is there's going to be no more displaced orphans for a while.
If this is what Thrawn has been able to investigate, Kayana is going to fully believe whatever Thrawn has found, because she has seen that Thrawn is better than her at a lot of things.
And basically, you find a lot of connecting the dots from what you had investigated.
Yep. Okay.
But the thing that's important here is that, you were able to contribute to the investigations. From your point of view.
Yeah.
And you think what you gave him was the last bit of information to conduct this?
Yeah.
That's right.
So you should be proud of yourself.
And afterwards there's a lot of cheering and clapping from the local people of the show of the Empire stopping terrorism in its tracks.
So when they were showing the terrorist faces, did any of them look like they had a really bad moustache? Greasy moustache?
I think if there was, that one would be personally in Thrawn's interrogation chambers.
It doesn't look as if any of them could substitute from Porn Mustache guy. You think he actually got off planet beforehand?
So how would you torture that guy? Use
tweezers
to take one hair at a time out of that mustache?
You might
Till
enjoy
it
it.
broke? Yeah, actually that might become...
Can confirm, hurts like hell.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But kind of not surprising.
So yes, you do get accommodation from Thrawn for all your work.
Yeah. For all of us?
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
To the team through Kayana.
Yep, cool.
As he personally thanks each and every one of you.
I thank him for making that training video that I've been practicing.
He even thanks B1 personally.
Ooh.
B1 is appropriately speechless.
I mean, of course he does. It's B1. Why wouldn't you thank me?
He even suggests some more training options for B1 to help with his loyalty program.
Oh, nice. There's a
Fantastic.
part of
I
me
can't wait to employ more training on my disciples.
I like that term. It's a good term.
And he hopes that he can help root out more dissidents as you discover them. If not, he's sure you can deal with them appropriately.
Oh yeah, we can.
So basically, that will be what we finish off with.
Sorry, B1 replies. Hey, you keep paying me, I'll keep hunting people. Just make sure you keep paying me.
Pretty sure you might get a bonus.
Yes, each of you should have a 10,000 credit bonus to spend on gear.
Really?
So
No matter how
it'll
numb
be
my
in
hands
gear.
are, I'm writing that one down.
Okay.
And next session, you should hopefully also have XP to spend.
So when you go shopping in the Star Wars world, does it include an iStore as well?
No,
Except instead it's one of like those Imperial sort of interrogation things instead of a
interrogator droid.
Yeah, instead of a beholder.
Beholder.
Mm.
I'm sure there's this little green guy that.
Medical droid.
I'm sure there's this little green guy that says, "This is not what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Move along."
I really want to go into that store though.
That's funny. So all of the terrorists have been taken care of.
Yeah.
all the discovered terrorists have been taken care of, plus their establishments.
Kayana is solemn but happy about this outcome.
So you'd also notice that a chunk of the places that had been destroyed had been some of those that had been bought out by the Imperials but not actually paid the people. So you think that's also a link to why they didn't actually get paid?
Yeah.
So it looks like the Imperials bought them, but the Imperials didn't.
Never
They were
did.
just evicted by the rebels.
Gotcha. Yep. Okay. So yeah, Kayana is solemn but happy about this outcome. Kesley is horrified. So
The distinction there is rather important, I feel.
Yes.
But that was a light show that Thrawn had referred to.
Yeah. Yep.
I was expecting something dramatic and impressive, and
It paid off. Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah, but, like, we got paid, so B1 is stoked.
yes. So, what kind of upgrades are you going to be getting?
All of them.
This is the only appropriate answer to that question, really.
Yeah.
As many as 10,000 credits can buy.
What you could do with your new arm? You could
I can
upgrade your cybernetic arm.
Well, I'll have to get the other one cut off, and then I can have the fancy arm.
Oh, B1's happy to help with that.
I was going to say, did you say that in front of B1?
No.
Because you're going to wake up one morning with a fully cauterized but missing other arm.
Yeah, and you hear the word training
Suddenly
exercise.
you hear a circular saw behind you.
Yeah.
Oh goodness, no.
You know, there's a cheeky part of me that just wants to sneak into a room late at night and just play an audio recording of that circular saw.
I mean, why would you? Why wouldn't you just tell B1 and then he'll play it over the compound speakers?
Because I won't actually do that. I said there's a part of me that would like to do that, but if I tell B1, that would definitely happen. And I like Kayana.
Well, now you've given the player an idea, and I can't hold that back.
I can see B1 getting Kayana drunk,
Oh no! Now
your
your
arm
teammates
off
helping him
and
execute
just
that.
say
Oh,
that
that's
she
an
had a,
awesome idea.
and then she has a. Then when she wakes up, you just say that you had a problem with your fencing.
No, see, what I'll do is I'll get her super drunk and then get her to sign the medical release form, and then she'll wake up without an arm.
I cannot. Okay.
So now we're hearing Kayana's not touching any alcohol at all.
Yeah, I'm glad that y'all think that Kayana is like Piper. The only person who's convinced Kayana to drink that much is Piper. So good
Oh
luck.
yeah. There was that one time.
And it was really
Well,
fun.
in that case, B1 has a medical injector and access to all the drugs.
Or would Kayana like some tea?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, have some knockout tea.
No.
What?
I think we're good.
I fear I've started something.
It's funny.
Our Kylander lost her arm.
Plus,
As long as they're saying Kayana and not Dene, I'm all good.
Hey, you need a fancy arm. Don't you?
No, I'm good. I have to be like your right and left arm anyway, so.
Well, you can lose both your legs then.
Oh
No,
god.
I need those two.
Does put a new term for the term I got drunk and was legless.
You all need to be improved.
Yeah. I am trying to improve. I'm practicing the Thrawn's sword video.
It could be worse.
Oh, Jesus. Try not to die. Oh, God.
Yes. You see? I'm already in imminent danger already.
Oh, no, I was trying not to actually die.
Oh, well, in that case, please don't die.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot.
Really? Please.
Usually not recommended.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not recommended.
Right, so, I hear it is bad for the spinal column. And it'll realign your chakras a bit too much.
Alright.
Well, living is recommended by all health officials for a long life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the one
I
guarantee
hear
to have a
zero
long
out
life.
of 10 morticians recommend you continue to live.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll call it good night there, guys, as I go to end credits, and
Thank
we
you.
will see some of you later in the week, some of you tomorrow, and some of you in a fortnight,
Sounds good.
depending on which games everyone's in.
Yep.
Okay, so good night, and thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
See ya.